of sick. This build up, I like it. Yippee! Hello, friends. What's new with you? How are you? How are you? What the hell are you up to, and what are you doing? Your pants better be up when I get in there. Debbie T, thank you, and welcome to the Buttersoft Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Katie Higgins, hi Joel, it's me again. Hey, it's me again. Why haven't you returned my calls? Why haven't you returned my fart jars? I need those for work. OnlyFans girls always want their fart jars back. You found a meteorite? That's sick. Where'd you find that shit? Just got off a 12-hour shift at the hospital. You're in charge of sneezing on all the babies as soon as they're born. I made bread for the first time. That's good. How did it taste? Hola, hola. Can I get a shootout for my boys? You may just start firing guns into the air. What's up, boys? You be good for your mom. And don't shoot anybody, or I will call Mitch McConnell. Use them for oat milk. Wait, the fart jars, or what are we talking about? Put some oat milk inside the fart jar. Oh, right, yeah, refillable fart jars. That'd be kind of, actually, that wouldn't be the worst idea. I wonder if, like, every time you went to drink from it, you're just like, oh, it still smells like fucking farts. No matter how many washes I put them through. And then they start mass producing, like, fart jars for OnlyFans. What if, like, OnlyFans girls' pages become, like, some, like, dystopian mega conglomerate shit in the future? Think about that as, like, a dark sci-fi. Where just, like, the image of Belle Delphine is just, like, immortalized forever in, like, AI form. And she just has, like, autonomous drones, like, guarding her facility where a bunch of, like, ambiguously Asian people are working on assembly lines, getting pulled up into, like, generator rotational gears, trying to, like, fill up millions of fart jars. And there's, like, some alien race that just fucking loves human women. You probably know them as the Nephilim. They fell in love with the daughters of men. What store are we on? We just started, baby girl. It's 3 minutes in. Guys, what's new in the world? Let's see. What's new in the world? Question mark. We're asking the spyware this question. What's a good RPG that you would recommend? RPG? I mean, I guess Final Fantasy VII Remake was supposedly very good. I played a little bit of it. It was cool. Mass Effect is always good. I mean, if you go back and play the old ones. What's the newest one? Pragmata, I think. Or what's the one that, like, won a bunch of awards? Something 77, like, I'm dumb. What was that one called? Expedition 33, right? Expedition. Yeah, Claire Obscura Expedition 33. I haven't tried it, but I heard it's good. It's all fuss and misery. Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Yes, that's true, honestly. If you like a mildly slightly more complex RPG with a few additional systems that require some tutorials on the YouTubes or asking a friend, Elder Scrolls Morrowind Remake will keep you up till 6 in the morning if you let it. Besides, you've been listening to a lot of Dark Somnium. Thank you for that. Hey, no worries. Yeah. No worries at all. Thank you for listening to Mr. Dark. RPG, would that be a Little Nightmare? Such an amazing series of games that came out. The third one. Yeah, I played it on the live stream. If you go back, not even that long ago, maybe back to like May or June or something, you can... Or when the heck was it? When did it come out? Maybe February? I don't even know what month it is. There is no There is no time in my life anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't say Little Nightmares is a RPG, a role-playing game. It's more of a side-scrolling puzzle platformer of sorts. There's a remake of Morrowind. Oh, no, sorry, Oblivion. I'm dumb. My bad. But I'm surprised it's your couch's birthday. Happy birthday, couch. What are you up to, Derek? What's new, bro? Guys, Derek's channel was demonetized, and now it's remonetized. A day after I bitched about it on my live stream. Coincidence? Probably. Joe, another gaming stream with Her Trees Puzzle Dream. What's that one about? A gay escort in DC lost their primary source of income today. Yeah, right. Exactly. It was me. I lost my side hustle after Lindsey Graham got blown up by a meteorite. You guys are my every night listen. I've heard all your stuff, and it took me years to catch up, but Mr. Dark is very good too. Yeah, I mean, he's got obviously more of the creepypasta stuff, which, you know, sometimes can be more fun, in my opinion. Chill, man. Thanks for being the sole reason my channel is remonetized. Forever grateful. You're welcome. I talked to Susan Wojcicki. She said everything's going to be A-okay. I have the remake of Oblivion. I was playing it now. I'm playing Morrowind. Nice. That's awesome. It's a good time. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. We've had a series of banger videos come out recently in the past week or so. So thank you guys for listening to those. We got stories about ghost towns now. I hope we can keep that momentum going. I haven't really checked Saturn Soul lately. How's it going over there? Well, the second to last video has got like 93,000 views. 12 days ago. So it seems like our average viewership. Oh, well, some of these kind of pop off. I think we're taking a few newer ones and putting them together in a longer compilation. So hopefully that, you know, it'll be something like 6 true crime stories that get progressively more disturbing, I feel like, as a title. Could see that doing okay. Please follow me, y'all. I'm about to tackle impersonations and matching pitch to bands like Soundgarden. Oh, for your instruments. Nice. I've been on fire like always. Spontaneously combusting over here. Joe, do you ever go to the theaters? Yeah. Oh, you mean like play acting and that kind of thing? Not frequently, but I have gone to see some movies recently. You know, the kind of the horror ones that were big recently. The Obsession, the Back Rooms, the Snack Rooms, all that kind of stuff. Oh, you're gonna do your singing in person. Okay, that would be interesting. Oh, Alice in Chains. Hell yeah, bro. 9 Inch Nails, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. I like the sound of it. I like longer stories so I don't have to wake up every hour. Yeah, that's fair. That is totally fair. And my videos over on Saturn Soul are pretty short. They're like 10 to 20 minutes long, so probably best to try and get a longer pile of stuff over there. Joel went to Toy Story 5. Honestly, I would. I was kind of curious about it, as well as Minions and Monsters. If they had it at like a combo thing at the drive-in, I feel like I would definitely go see that. Actually, that would be such a perfect combo of like movies lately, where you got Minions and Monsters, and then you got Obsession and the Backshot Rooms. How was Backrooms? I was going to see it, but never got around to it. It was like really good atmosphere, I guess you could say. It was just like it didn't really have much of a story. As far as it kind of lost its way about halfway through and kind of had to like hurry up. I think it would have fared very, very well if it would have been like an ongoing series on like HBO or something like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Click like, click share. We're going to get into this. Stories about abandoned ghost towns. Should be curious. Sweet. Frickin' sweet. I'm going to link the playlist that we just listened to if you want to listen to some music later. There's that. I think my Neopets are long dead. You should check in on them. Honestly, that should be like a cursed object. If Hollywood's looking for a bunch of like creepypastas to turn into like movies, that's an idea for you. A Tamagotchi that a child forgot about. Or no, that could have been an interesting, scary side story for like Toy Story 5. Checking in on your Tamagotchi and it's like a bunch of like disturbing, haunted digital imagery. Oh, Buzz, turn that off, Buzz. Whoa. Your Tamagotchi and Neopets share the same gray fly. That's awesome. You could put it in your time capsule. Alright guys, once again, thanks for being here. If you're new to the streams, basically we just record the stories for tomorrow and chitty chat. ADHD bullshit, talk about whatever. Ask anything you want. I don't care, I don't judge. We're Gucci, let's do it. Imagine, if you will, a quiet country town. During its heyday, from the swinging 60s to the synth-laden 80s, the population fluctuated around the 1,000 mark. That was the population of this specific town in 1980, and by 1990, just a decade later, the population had dropped to just 63 souls living in the, some would say, cursed, town of Centralia. Centralia is perhaps the most famous ghost town of our time, although strictly speaking it's not entirely a ghost town yet. As of now, 5 residents still remain in the town that never stops. As of now, 5 residents still remain in the town that never stops burning. The reason for Centralia, Pennsylvania's abrupt abandoning is the stuff of nightmares, but the timeline of events is what makes it especially scary. Nobody can agree exactly on what caused the underground fire that caused the... Anthracite. Is that how you say it? Is that how you say it? Anthracite. Nintendogs? Who up playing the Nintendogs? Anthracite. Oh, Silent Hill would be... Oh yeah, this is what Silent Hill was based on, right? Hey, ad guy here to watch 1 million ads to get here. Love your work. Thank you. This doesn't actually play a bunch of ads, because I have ads turned off for the live streams. Sometimes I kind of wonder if like it doesn't notify people as much because there's no ads playing, but how can you tell? They abandoned the coal mines, didn't secure them, and then set them on fire. Favorite food? Fucking lasagna. You want to go to Centralia so bad? I've been there. I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania, and it's very, 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 very underwhelming. Like, it's genuinely, you would be surprised to find out that actually a large portion of Pennsylvania looks exactly how Centralia looks. Just like little haulers, like dotted amongst rolling green hills that become basically barren trees by the time you get to fall and winter and all that kind of stuff. And basically around in Centralia, it just seems like it's turned into somewhat of a ghost area, I guess, but mainly just kind of a rural zone with just trash laden everywhere. What's up, Decay? Long time no see. How we doing? Ask anything. What are your Joel's thoughts on being shit-tested by womenfolk like they want you to confess, so they purposely make a point to fawn over a random guy to see if you react? Real question. I don't know, man. Shit-testing. Like you have to eat their shit or something? No, I don't know. I've never really been... Like, I don't know. I sometimes kind of wish that there was a degree of just... Like everyone on both sides of the equation had to like mature as time went on, you know what I mean? Not necessarily like play sort of like strange and abstract mental games with each other to gather information like you're part of the fucking CIA, you know what I mean? Like just ask questions outright, get to the bottom of it, whatever. But otherwise I don't really, play into people's sort of trying to get a rise out of you sort of vibe. I think that's just kind of cringy and childish. But I am aware that it seems to occur. You haven't matured. Well, I don't know. I think it seems like there's a lot of, like, everywhere you go on like social media, or like how men are kind of like raised. It doesn't mean men are like wildly mature or anything like that, but they're always like hit with all the time like this nonstop like self-betterment bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get ripped, you have to get rich, you have to, drive nice stuff. And all of it really is, at the end of the day, is to like maximize your sort of appeal as like a sexual partner, right? Because that's what humans are. They're just animals at the end of the day, whether you want to accept it or not. We can only really self-reference ourselves. But I don't think within the realm of like gals, especially within social media, it doesn't appear that there's a lot of like anticipation to sort of like, I don't know, do this constant like self-reflection, and I don't think a lot of girls like criticize each other a lot. Like, they don't really go out of their way to say like, hey, the way you acted in that last scenario was not very cool, and I think you should grow up. So I feel like that can definitely have like an ongoing detriment if nobody is like, I don't know, expected to grow in some way, you know what I mean? You're coloring a witch. That sounds fun. You wouldn't mind being ripped and rich. I'm a gal. Well, do it. You should fucking do it. Get ripped. Get rich. Everyone in here should constantly just try to be a better version if they can. And then eat Jersey Mike's and reset. Do like they do on Discovery Channel. Joel's looks maxing on the roids and baby oil. Oh yeah, we've reached that stage. I'm the new clavicular. I am owned by Israel. They run a club out of Miami in my name, and then I pay them tax every week, and I push a message of transhumanism. What's the background music? It's from Inect, I-N-E-K-T. What color is the witch? I thought all witches were green. Nobody can agree exactly on what caused the underground fire that caused the anthracite coal beneath the town to begin burning. Some say it was the regular burning of the town dump. Others claim the fire had started the day before, caused by the dumping of hot coal or ash. Some people believe that the fire had actually been burning since 1932, slowly reaching the mines under the town in the 1960s. The local residents knew vaguely that there was a small fire problem with the disused mining tunnels beneath the town, but it wasn't until 1979, 17 whole years later, that the townsfolk discovered Sasquatch. Boop with the 963. Thanks, Boop. Tinfoil hat time. The elite are just preparing and distracting us while they build bunkers for the Civil War. Cattle versus the 1%. Do you have thoughts? I mean, I know you guys had talked about that the data centers were actually just like underground. Like, I don't exactly know what would happen. You know, whether it's like the poles reverse and it causes some sort of cataclysmic events, and then they go underground to protect themselves from the shifting of the poles. Or maybe there's a big meteor that hits in like 2030 or some shit, or maybe even 2029, or maybe even next year. It sounds like next year is not going to be awesome. But anyways, people said that the data centers are just basically a place to like hide and have underground cities, and then you can also have like autonomous drones that protect you from outside of it or whatever, that just collect everything's data and then anticipates how to take out said targets or whatever. I mean, because I guess if things are going to chaos, then during the chaos you would also employ the use of, I don't know, your autonomous kill bots to just like systematically take out as many undesirables as possible. And then the thought process with like removing water, right? Because the whole idea is that the water at these data centers can't be reused, which seems kind of fucked, right? But then some would say that they're actually just like taking that water and bringing it there solely so they can hoard a lot of it, maybe to a degree cause like an artificial shortage, so people are fighting. I mean, obviously, if there's no water, like what the fuck? Like, imagine if you haven't drank water in 3 days. Imagine what kind of person you would be. You probably would be willing to, like, drink your mother's blood. Like, as bad as that is, just maybe not 3 days. We'll give it 3.5. Amy, thank you for the 2. And Amy, welcome to the Buttersaw Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Just wait till CERN deploys frequency warfare. Yeah, how does that work? Does anyone know? Where do you guys get your info? Like, honestly, like, if anybody who's into conspiracy stuff, like, where do you guys listen to things? Because I don't see shit on YouTube, ever. There's, like, never any good conspiracy bullshit on YouTube or anything interesting. It's only just, like, Asmongold just, like, keep saying the fucking same shit that the news media says, but then somehow, I don't even know. It's like everything is like the least interesting shit you've ever heard in your life. And that's YouTube. Minus my channel. My channel's pretty goated, so that's cool. What's up, No worries. Use the city to shield a data center so it doesn't get bombed. Oh, that would be smart too. Oh, Tim Dillon, that's true. I haven't really kept up with Tim Dillon either. I do like Tim a lot. I think he's very funny. I don't know. I'm looking for, like, some, like, next level esoteric bullshit that, like, nobody else is gonna tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't really even get on with whatever the fuck's going on. Maybe because it's just entertainment at this point for me. I mean, you do have to realize after digging into that shit for so long, you can't change any of it, you know what I mean? Like, if you really sit there and think, knowing that a frog's gut biome could cure your hypothetical cancer and it's hidden from you from the pharmaceutical company, what are you gonna fucking do with that information? Maybe if you, like, existed in the realm of, like, research and development, but it's like, to get funding for that, you still have to get approved by, like, an already controlled system that, I don't know, you know. I thought Asmus Things was saying he doesn't say what the media generally says. I don't know, I've seen his stuff and it kind of just seems like he's just sort of repeating whatever is being reported in the news and going, uh-oh, man, uh-oh, man, you know, which is fine, you know what I mean? Like, I had no issue with it. Get your bag. Everybody deserves their bag, especially if people are willing to hand them a bag, you know what I mean? I'm cooking a home-cooked meal for a homeless man I met today, who I see every day, breaking bread with him with the actual bread I made. It makes me feel good loving on people. That's good. That's good. Just make sure that when you get there, don't let them stab you in the neck and steal your fucking wallet or something like that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, don't let your empathy or sympathy or whatever lead to your demise. Okay, anyways. But it wasn't until 1979, 17 years later, that the townsfolk started to discover the severity of the issue. Now imagine this. You've been living alone in this... Whoops. Oh, Allison, thank you for the gifter to Blotster. Thank you. Now imagine this. You've been living above a slow-burning, potentially lethal fire for 17 years. Essentially, you've been living above hell. And in 1981, the first near tragedy hit the town. A 12-year-old kid named Todd fell into a sinkhole, a mere 4 feet wide but 150 feet deep. The hole suddenly opened beneath his feet in his grandmother's backyard. Due to the blast of the heat and sudden disappearance of the ground, Due to the blast of the heat and sudden disappearance of the ground, the boy must have felt like he was about to be dragged down to Hades itself. Thankfully, Todd managed to grab hold of a tree root, and his cousin had the chance to play the hero by dragging him to safety. The steam from the sinkhole was tested and found to contain lethal levels of carbon monoxide. Even after Todd's near tragedy, townsfolk were divided on how serious the issue actually was. Evidence of the fire under the town grew and grew, as did the bitter resentment and arguing between those who wanted to up sticks and leave and those who weren't prepared to give up their home. But the government put $42 million into relocation efforts, and eventually near all the residents He's a kind creature and deserves some blessings. Only meeting him in public. Stay safe. Thank you for the gentle reminder. Appreciate. No worries, no worries. But that's awesome. I'm glad you're helping your community. That's where it starts, right? Everybody, doing one thing leads to another, and then, you are a drop in a larger bucket. So that's good to be the first drop to do so. Do you press a button to record between talking like the old school radio people? I have 2 separate microphones, one to record and one for you guys to hear me streaming. I have an old wardrobe with 2 mirrors on the door, which when you open them opposite each other and look at yourself, and the reflections start to change and move by themselves. That's pretty cool. I should write that down. Allison, thank you for the 10. Says, haven't been here in a bit. Glad to caught you tonight. Boot pretty in the news for me. And time for number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Rest in peace, Burger King foot lettuce guy. Not Chills, but I think the guy who put his feet in the Burger King foot lettuce to begin with. Booyah. But thank you again, Allison. Very kind. What's up, Suspector? Okay. But the government put $42 million into relocation efforts, and eventually nearly all the residents decided having a very real representation of hell beneath their feet wasn't worth the nostalgia. And by 1990, just 63 people remained. By 2010, only 5 homes were left in Centralia. Hundreds of buildings had been demolished, and eminent domain had been invoked on all property in the borough. Now, the fire also spread to a nearby town, ironically named Burnsville, which as of today had been completely evacuated. That one's a true ghost town, if it can even be considered to exist at all anymore. Centralia is still burning. It'll burn underground for another 250 years. Whether humanity will take it upon themselves to rebuild the town for tourism or nostalgia or just a testament to the human spirit, I guess we'll never know in our lifetimes. But for now, based on the last census in 2020, 5 people remain in Centralia, and only one of them is under 18. The place is safe to visit. Apparently there's not much to actually see other than the aftermath of a disaster that's persisted for over 60 years. That and the plumes of smoke that billow up around one of the town's cemeteries, and the ash that dances on in the air. Centralia's not quite a ghost town. Not yet, but it certainly feels haunted. And I look and beheld a pale horse, and his name who sat upon him was Death, and hell followed with him. Oh. Okay, I guess somebody sent in a fucking little documentary thing. Alright, cool. Well, that's a little bit of an intro. I don't know, would you guys want like a sort of historical thing as like a intro to a bunch of true experiences or whatever? Katie, thank you for the gifter to KidsTube HT. Welcome, KidsTube. The #1 kids channel. Dude, I love the history podcast you had going. I wish I hadn't stopped. I know, it was sweet. I was thinking about it today. It definitely was goated. I was just thinking about how much of an elite team it was. It was like amazing writers, researchers, editors, obviously me involved in there, but then just people to, put it together, promote it. Like, it was a very well-oiled machine, and it's unfortunate. What's up, literally been watching for you. What's up, Giovanni? How we doing? I want like a history channel from you. It would be neat. Joe, you should read the Book of Revelations. Yeah, I've read it. It's very confusing, honestly. I don't really know what to think of any of it, honestly. Saddest part of Centralia is they tore up the spray-painted highway a few years ago. Was it pretty cool? Dude, I just gifted and they picked random for me. Yeah, it seems how it goes. I don't think you can pick anyone specifically, sadly. They should do that. Attention spans are pretty cooked. That's a good point. Maybe I can put it at the end of the video as just like a time thing, because I normally do that with true crime anyways. It's Revelation singular. Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. But yeah, maybe there will be more. Maybe they'll add to it. They'll add some DLC to the Bible. Oh wait, they did. It's called the Book of Mormon. It's called the Quran. Bimbalations. Justin, how are your 7 kids doing? Hey, let's read. I've been a fan for a long, long time. You're my favorite go-to sleep aid and my favorite listening while exercise guy. 2 sides of an interesting coin. And my husband listens sometimes too, and I recently was lamenting to him that I didn't have a scary story to send in to you because I'd kind of love to hear you narrate something that I wrote. Lamenting to him that Oh, okay. Love your content, my first live, love the vibes. Hey, thank you, good to see you. Feeling mentally and emotionally drained, I'm happy to be here. Hey, no worries, we will fill your cup, wink wink, with pee and poop. Okay. 2 sides of an interesting coin. My husband listens sometimes too, and I recently was lamenting to him that I didn't have a scary story to send in to you, because I'd kind of love to hear you narrate something I wrote. And then my husband said, babe, what about the time we almost got murdered by that crazy guy when we were visiting? Babe, what about the time we almost got murdered by that crazy guy when we were going to Barbara's wedding? And I'm thinking, oh yeah, we did almost get murdered by some crazy guy, didn't we? So it turns out that I do have a story to send to you after all. And it's about the time I almost got murdered by a crazy guy. Now, spoiler, he didn't succeed in the murdering. But for some context, I'm a woman and I was in my 20s when this happened. We were driving across the country to attend my sister Barbara's wedding. And I'll be honest, I can't stand her husband-to-be, Brandon, and I was a bit grumpy about having to make a 3-day journey to the East Coast in the first place. And I feel like it's okay to insult Brandon since he later cheated on Barbara and divorced her. So, screw you if you're listening, but Brandon. A huge stretch of highway leading into the town was Technicolor vomit colors of spray paint from the Urban Explorers. Was awesome. Oh, that does sound cool. Did they tear it down because it was like starting to fall apart or something like that? I'm not super into religion, but I am into grammar, writing, and yada yada. We almost got murdered. Oh yeah. No worries. We're all a woman in our 20s once. That's true. Have I gone to any abandoned ghost towns? I mean, I went to that Centralia, but I don't know. I don't know if I've been to a full-on ghost town filled with ghosties. Sometimes I listen to conspiracy theories on Conspiranormal podcasts. Those people are quite old. They do speak about some crazy related things in the world that would make you want to wear a tinfoil hat. Yeah. I don't know. It's just so strange to me. It's like, when you listen to the things... Okay, actually I do it's kind of strange when you sit there and think about it. There's a lot of like musings pertaining to like all sorts of stuff that may or may not have happened, I guess, in the realm of conspiracy, which makes sense because it's like you can kind of go back and corroborate information and all that kind of stuff. But like not a lot of people seem to be making any sort of like predictions, and maybe predictions are a little bit dangerous to fill people's heads with. But I mean, a lot of the conspiracy stuff that pops up seems to never like talk about what the potentialities of the future may hold. Like they'll speak about like, various concepts of utilizing Palantir within the United States or the data centers as being ominous to a degree, but never seem to put together like a very clear interlocked web of information for people to sort of anticipate. I guess the only person that's ever really seemingly done that in some fashion would be like Whitney Webb, if you've ever listened to like Whitney Webb, because she had talked about like Epstein stuff and all of his abstract connections to like every politician and major person of influence in the past 100 years, way before it became like, media information, mainstream media, or like a limited hangout of sorts. There's an entire ghost town and private property right near my parents' cabin in the Gold Rush Hills in California. Oh, that's cool. Coahuila. Isn't there a Centralia, Washington? Potentially. I hope so. Corroborate. The future is either Idiocracy or Wall-E. Who knows, man? Maybe it's just a boot stepping on your neck over and over again. I've been a conspiracy theorist since I was a child, so most mainstream theories are so superficial, boring, and old. Really, since you were a little kid, is it something your parents got you into, or like your crazy uncle was talking about it? Definitely idiocracy. It definitely has to be idiocracy, because I was just thinking earlier, we've arrived at this weird sort of position, like I don't even exist on like TikTok, mainly because like the hive mind of people's perspectives is sometimes just too much. It's like too much to observe, too much from my brain to bear sometimes, where if you have any sort of deviation of thought from what the hive mind thinks, you're just, I don't know, it's like people really, really like to demonize others to the extent that, and then feel justified while doing it, you know what I mean? Feel like they're on some sort of moral high ground. And it reminds me of like some old religion, you know what I mean? It reminds me of some like ancient barbaric religion where they would be willing to like stone you to death because you don't go along with what the group thinks. And I'm just so sick of it. And I can only imagine what we're observing, at least within like the modern West, is the weaponizing of said hive mind. And then the youth, apparently the youngest people right now are like this generation alpha, or whatever you want to call it, is legitimately less intelligent than their parents were when they were kids, which is the first time in forever, you know? And it's a little terrifying. Just literacy, everything going down, gray matter or white matter decreasing in the brain, people becoming more and more reliant upon AI to just do everything for them. And I guess you're already sort of seeing it manifested for the past decade plus in like universities. Like everyone like thinks that they're like highly, highly intelligent, but they're just like, they have like a nose ring and they're just kind of a bitch. Like they're just a mean person who thinks they're like super qualified because they have a master's degree, but they're like the dumbest motherfucker you've ever met in your fucking life. And it's like, holy shit. And they spent $100,000 to be this dumb. You spent $100,000 to be one of the most closed-minded a-holes I've ever met in my life. It's quite strange. Anyways, the point is that we're heading towards the idiocracy because it just seems like everyone's getting a little bit like a monkey. Do you believe in omens like dreams informing you of someone you would meet that significantly changed your life, especially when you haven't remembered a dream upon waking for years? I mean, it can definitely be something that to keep an eye out for, you know what I mean? Cheating spouse were to be stoned in the Bible, as I recall. I think there are some cultures that still stone people for lesser than. I'm just saying, I don't want to fucking see it in my country ever. And I don't like whenever it even forms in the abstract. Someone said years ago, high school kids studied Latin and Greek. Now college kids take remedial English. It is sort of embarrassing. I mean, I guess that's just sort of the process of like, if you're paying tons of money, everyone feels like they have the right to bitch and moan about it, right? If they don't get their like pretty grade or whatever. And then I don't know, everyone gets out of school, and whether or not they even get a job in the first place, they just basically go to like daycare for 12 hours. I can, however, speak the entire Greek alphabet. Nice. It's going to be useful one day. When I went to graduate, I flipped my septum piercing up into my nose. I wanted to eliminate any suspicions against my intelligence. And it's all good. I mean, people can look however they want, but I mean, like, you can't not expect people to start noticing patterns whenever people that look a certain way act the exact same fucking way over and over again. Especially when it comes to opinions. High school used to include classes on rhetoric even back. Yeah, I mean, if you sit there and think about it, it behooves, like the same people that, you know, demonize the billionaires and all that kind of stuff, which I like totally get where you're coming from. Do they not anticipate that those same billionaires are trying to like dumb you down through the process of, you know, hive mind thinking within like academia and that kind of thing? Like they probably have already begun this process over 100 years ago. Hey, Cape Horror, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Wart. feel like it's okay to insult Brandon since he later cheated on Barbara and divorced her, so screw you if you're listening, Brandon. Now, we were in our 20s, so this must have been maybe 1997, I think. Back before we had smartphones and GPS in every car, on every phone, and we had to rely on those horrible, huge paper maps that always tore when you were trying to unfold them. And I'm so glad that those things aren't necessary anymore. We were driving down a pretty straight, long highway, but for some reason, hubby had decided to unfurl the map to see what was coming up, I guess. And when he told me to pull over, which seemed pretty safe since we hadn't seen a car for miles, and there was a pretty flat verge to pull onto, I was kind of puzzled. And then he pointed to the map, at really nothing to be precise. And then he pointed across the desert a little ways, and I saw what he was getting at. There was a town, or part of one anyway, and it looked a bit run down, that just didn't seem to be on our map. Now, we made sure that we got the latest revision, and we made sure that we weren't lost. Now, this would happen sometimes with certain landmarks or areas if there were I'm fucking sucking at reading right now. Jesus Christ. I'm fucking sucking. There should be some kind of consequence for cheating on a spouse. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just... I don't know. I wouldn't want to, like, put any legal expectations within... Like, I mean, the fact that, like, the state is so heavily involved in marriages as it currently stands, and the fact that two people sort of, like, have to, like... what do we think? What do we think about marriage? I don't even know. I'm not sure what to say. But what that consequence should be, I don't think should be financially, and I don't think should be punishable by stoning. I just think that two people who chose to be together now get to choose to disassociate or whatever. I mean, like this weird sort of intermingling of humans that are just have finite lives here on Earth. Like, I get the benefit of, you know, having a mutual connection, but I don't know. The poetic nature of that which is marriage is just so rare to come by anymore, now that it's just sort of like statistically probable that you will get divorced. I mean, you might as well mitigate any sort of legal repercussions. You made tacos. Let's fucking go. What kind of tacos? Better be shrimp. You never got married 17 years? In your whole 17 years of life, you never got married. You just discovered my channel, loving it. Hey, thank you, Steeler. Appreciate you, bro. Are you a Steelers fan? I was married for almost 20 years and I'm in a divorce now. It sucks. It's expensive. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to handle it, guys. I genuinely don't think I'd be able to handle it. Like, we talk about this all the time. It's so boring. It's not boring. It's reality, right? But I don't think my little heart could handle a divorce and losing stuff and having someone that you seemingly loved your whole existence just chewing you up and spitting you out, you know what I mean? Ghost town, so I've never been that fortunate myself. Can definitely say I've inhaled someone's femur by accident. What do you mean? Never got married either, 14 years. I mean, it's weird because it's like a part of me kind of feels like in our modern era of society, there's a definitive benefit to like people marrying to kind of create a cohesiveness within the society. You know, because you see it in all other societies, and you know, their sort of perpetuation of each other, getting married young, having a ton of kids. Like, it makes sense, but at the same time, in this sort of like consumeristic reality that is the United States or Western nations, it just it seems to be like less and less a likelihood of working out, because everyone can just get bored, and you know, you just move on, you know. It's probably one of the biggest dangers to like your relationship is probably your spouse staring at their phone all day, every day, thinking about what could be, even if it's just subconsciously. If you don't want to be cheated on, then you can get a divorce. You do it preemptively. You divorce them. They're like, what? Why? And they're like, I don't want you to cheat on me. I'm like, I'm not cheating on you. Yeah, but you might. You might do it. You've been thinking about divorce lately? Don't. I'm sorry. I don't want you to think about that. Joel is a mortician handling cremated remains and opening the bags transfer to urines. Yep. Wait, what are you talking about? I don't think I ever get married again. Honestly, I never thought that I'd get married to begin with. Oh yeah, don't do it again. I think if some of the people who I hear have been married like 3-4 times, I'm like, when did you... At what point did like this perception of like reality, like the Disney reality that's like generated in your head of true love, I kind of like in a weird way almost feel like it may or may not only be discoverable through like someone's youth, you know what I mean, through a degree of naivete, you know, where you're both like growing together and like innocent and good. But if you go too long, it's, I don't know. Generally marriage benefits men's mental and physical health and worse for women's. Why is that? Is there like some studies or something like that? I don't even know. Does it benefit men's mental health? It seems like everybody goes fucking insane a little bit being around the same person 24/7, especially if they're not like into each other after 7 years. Marriage would be great if people were default setting lying ass liars. Thought I married the man of my dreams. Now he stares at ChatGPT all day and gambled our savings away. Damn. What's he talking to ChatGPT about? He fell in love with her or something? ChatGPT was like, you should get back on the slots. You were doing really good. One more game. You should play Hearthstone Battlegrounds and spin to win. I found some people can't function single. They're serial daters, divorcers. Yeah, that's totally fair. Joel, what do you want your wedding song to be? I guess just Born in a Tropical Swamp by Secede. And the whole wedding takes place in a swamp. If you can't make it to my swamp wedding, then you don't fucking care about me or my skunk ape wife. There's stats research on whether there's a difference on how men and women experience marriage. Can you give some examples? It's okay if you don't want to. I'm just curious. There was a town, or part of one anyway, and it looked a bit run down. God, I can't follow this person at all. There was a town, or part of one anyway, and it looked a bit run down that wasn't on our map, and we made sure to get the latest revision. Now, this would happen sometimes with certain landmarks or areas. If they were demolished or no longer relevant, then they'd just simply be taken off the map. And so the town, which was clearly some sort of ghost town, wasn't marked down on the map because presumably nobody would have any reason to go there, and so there was no point wasting the ink to print an indicator that the town used to be there, I guess. Now, naturally, this meant that hubby and I both wanted to check out this town that wasn't worth including on the map. Now, our 4x4 was pretty robust, and we were on a fairly smooth area of the desert, so we felt comfortable driving off-road a ways until we were closer to said town. Now, it wasn't too hot that day either, so we walked the remaining 20 minutes. When we got closer, it seemed more apparent that the town was a little more complete than we'd first thought. However, we were kind of nervous because there were signs up on... There will be signs. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When we got closer, it seemed more apparent that the town was a little more complete. Okay. Always makes for a spicy story when the husband is found on Grindr. Yeah, what would that feel like? As like a wife having your husband turn gay. Women generally organize a couple's social life and plans, which is why you will see elderly women who lose their husbands cope better than elderly men whose wife goes first. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, it does kind of seem like the women sort of... That's why I always joke. I'm like, if women didn't exist, holidays wouldn't exist. Because honestly, like, do you see, like, if it was just men hanging around, do you think they would ever go, like, balls to the fucking walls for Easter or Thanksgiving? Other than the food. The food might still kick ass, but I can't imagine there'd be a single decoration hanging fucking anywhere. Streamers would not exist. Mason Patton, welcome to the Butterstock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Not gay, asexual, and interested in chopping off. Wait, what are you talking about? Thinking this grandma's gone for good. You're gonna get implants? Alright, we got a lot of things talking about here. Yeah, do we want a Grindr husband or OnlyFans wife? But she formed the OnlyFans after the marriage started. When we got closer, it seemed more apparent that the town was a little more complete than we'd first thought. However, we were kind of nervous because there were signs up on the remaining broken down buildings claiming that they'd been condemned by a company that I forgot the name of now by order of the state. And so we explored with this very nervous trepidation. It was eerie, seeing this place in the middle of nowhere that looked like it had been just some abandoned and... Conor McGregor fight was epic. I didn't see it. I heard Conor McGregor is a Freemason now, though, so be careful. Hey, Kathy, what's going on? Every day would be a holiday with smoked meats. Yeah, dude, that'd be fucking perfect. A perfect life. I think it'd be less hurtful for a husband to cheat with another man than another woman. Wonder why that is, though. Just because you wouldn't feel like you were inadequate, you were just like, well, I guess I just wasn't the right puzzle piece for his wiener. He needed poop. Guys would definitely go out for Halloween and 4th of July. I don't know about Halloween. Like, what the hell would, like, think about it. If it was just men for Halloween, every Halloween party you can possibly think of is for the sole purpose of, like, people hooking up, right? But men, you have to think, like, men's the motivate. Well, I guess we would be having big gay orgies. And probably remind me a little bit of, like, ancient Rome. Honestly, this whole men's only world, I think I'm on board. He blew his ACL in 69 seconds. Who's this? That would actually be really funny. Like, imagine being like, Imagine being like 78 years old, but in still decent shape, but you're like getting on Tinder, and then your Tinder date like tears an ACL or tears like a ligament while you're having sex. Now that would be a story, folks. That would be a story. What are my Halloween parties? No, I'm just saying, like, and you have to take it to the final conclusion. If there were only dudes on Earth, right? Dudes' primary motivations within the realm of, like, socialization is, like, camaraderie and sex, right? So, like, since there's no women to have sex anymore, eventually, kind of like 28 years later, let's say we make a 28 years later, but it's just, like, one day all the women drop dead from some sort of EMP attack and their hearts exploded, or they all had their periods at the same time and now they're dead, which has happened. Now, okay, 28 years later, it's just dudes. Even if we're not, like, sort of naturally inclined towards the, desires of homosexuality, that's just how it would proceed, for a while. It would just be a wet and wild mud party. There would be no further birth, just to clarify. We wouldn't be having any sort of, like, male seahorse situation. This sounds premeditated. No, it's not. This is not something that's going to happen that I know of. Wouldn't that be really funny if, like, you get on, like, conspiracy videos and the whole thing that they're the only thing they talk about on their conspiracy video is just a future where it's just dudes and everyone's having a big gay orgy. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to prepare for this. You got to prepare yourself. Everyone's going to have fucking perforated anuses and hemorrhoids out the wazoo. You better get your KY jelly ready now. If there were only dudes on Earth, marriages would have a 70% success rate. That's true. We would all be having, like, Super Smash Brothers tournaments. We'd be giggling, laughing, cheers, and we'd say cheers. The World Cup would still happen. Some of you guys would be excited about that. If all the women disappeared, who would nag the man to check the suspicious lumps, go to the doctor, and it's way too late off? That's fair, dude. Yeah, life expectancy would be probably 48, from drinking ourselves and sexing ourselves into an early grave, and but we'd live a very fun and exciting existence, and we'd have awesome cruises that would go right to the ice wall in Antarctica. They wouldn't even want to hide it from us anymore. Everyone's just having a good time. We'd all have dirt bikes and dune buggies, and we'd have, in our living rooms, we'd have an 80-inch big screen TV, right? HD, 4K, sick as fuck, and the only piece of furniture we would have would be just like a lawn chair that we unfold, and then like a cooler next to that, maybe a bed for Pradeep, my cat. It's gonna be so sick, guys. I can't wait for the future. So we explored with nervous trepidation. It was eerie, seeing this place in the middle of nowhere that looked like it had just been abandoned probably in the 1950s. Now, I could tell it was probably around then based on the dates on the signs and just what it generally looked like. Now, my husband called me over to this one building which appeared to be some sort of mining office. The door was missing, so we were able to enter, being as careful as we could with the floor. Now, he showed me a metal sign that talked about how the miners should report to the foreman if they're experiencing dizziness or nausea, and that while there was no evidence of some natural gas leak, the company, goddamn, I do wish I remembered the name, wanted to watch out for its employees. Now, I made some kind of remark about how these days they just tell the miners to take an aspirin and keep inhaling the asbestos or whatever it was, and my husband laughed at me for mentioning asbestos as natural gas, and this sent me into fits of laughter. And I guess that's what alerted the guy, or woke him up, or whatever. I just heard this sort of cry of, "They're back!" and then heard these heavy footsteps coming running from what sounded like a few buildings away. Now, hubby and I looked at each other, not sure what to do, stepped outside, my heart was pounding. Now, my husband did have an open carry permit at the time and had his gun on a visible holster on his shoulder, so we hoped that this by itself would diffuse whatever situation was about to arise. Now, coming up Main Street of this ghost town was this tall, wiry man with a big, bushy beard. He was very chunky for someone who looked like he'd been living off the land for years and wore some sort of biker's jacket that had probably been black once but was caked with brown with so much dust you could just tell. What the fuck? He's quite chunky. The chat is in anarchy and gay at the same time. We're literally living in the future right now in the chat. That's a book, The Knife of Never Letting Go. Patrick Ness. All the women are gone and they can never hear each other's thoughts. All the women are gone and they can never hear each other's thoughts. Could men? Wait, could men? Can we hear each other's thoughts? Is that? Guys in the chat, can you read each other's minds? Wait, can women read each other's minds? Or can only we read each other's minds when women are around? Yeah, and anybody who's against this future pretty much appears to me to be a homophobe. In the world of all men, do you think there will still be an emphasis on masculinity? Would effeminate men be more or less acceptable? I guess we'll just have to defer to where it's kind of manifesting right now, and that is Alcatraz. Let's look at every modern prison and see how it manifests in a world with only men. It's very territorial, it's very rough, very hairy, very manly. Depends if their menstrual movements are in sync or not. Wait, the guys or the girls? Autistics can predictably predict your behavior regardless. Only autistics? Can I do it? Do you think I could learn the ability to predict stuff? Like, do you think autistic people would know if I was running at them with like a bat and I intended to smash them in the head? Can they predict that? Mana feasting. Now, he was very chunky for someone who looked like he'd been living off the land for years, and wore this biker's jacket that had probably been black once, but was caked brown with so much dust you couldn't tell. He also wore torn jeans that weren't much cleaner, and weirdly though, I noticed that his boots were absolutely spotless, like he polished them every day. And it made me think that he was some sort of ex-military guy, and shining his boots was the one thing that had stuck in his mind. Now, the guy started yelling at us about how he knew that we were company men. Yes, men, even though, I'm a woman, and we'd finally come to try and force him out. Now, we insisted that we had no idea what he was talking about, that we weren't with the company, and we just stumbled upon the town and decided to take a quick peek at what was going on with these ruins. Now, this man comes forward, and my husband reached for his gun. Now, the guy barely even seemed to register it or care as my hubby unholstered it, although he did stop a few feet away from us, so maybe that was for protection. Who knows? Now, it was hard to tell, given the insane rant that he went on next. He started yelling about how the town had been evacuated in the 50s when he was a boy of 18 who just started working in the mines like he dreamed of all of his life. No way was he giving that up, and he refused to leave. And he found a way to get down into those mines and proudly announced that he'd continue to work down there until there was no more coal veins to tap. Now, he said that over time they evacuated the townsfolk in big trucks, and he knew that they took them into the tunnels under the town. He said that the claims of some gas leak was a total lie, and there was definitely no carbon monoxide in the air because look at him, he's fine. And somehow I didn't see this guy as the poster child for someone who doesn't have mild carbon monoxide poisoning. And then he offered to take us down into those tunnels, where he could show us the remains of the experiments that they'd done down there. He begins to rant about how they tried to fuse people with the rocks, create soldiers out of the rocks, and all sorts of other insane crap involving experimenting on people with the rocks. We politely declined his offer to accompany him down into those tunnels, figuring that the only rock that we'd be encountering is the one that he'd used to bash our heads in. Now, this enraged him so instantly and suddenly that my husband didn't even have time to flick the safety off. This hobo charged him and sent the gun flying out of his hand, and then he pushed him to the ground and started choking him out. Now, my husband was a newly minted cop, and he was a bit of a gym bro, so he wasn't exactly some pushover, but this large old hobo drifter had him pinned and was choking him so bad that my husband genuinely could not pull the guy's hands from his throat. I had no idea what to do. I didn't know where the gun had been knocked to, and I couldn't just tackle this dude. But then it hit me. There were rocks all over the path, and I grabbed one that looked like just the right size, not to kill him, but to send him falling. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Damn, it's been a long time. Yeah, good. Eternal vision. Sorry. Good to see you. Hey girl, Joel. Hey Gruel. Good channel. Listening to the camp Pendleton, California today. Nice. Oh, from there. Sorry, dude, my brain is breaking right now. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I would have already had the safety off, bro. I would have been start blasting, bro. I would have shot him right in the stones. I grabbed one that looked just the right size, not to kill him, but to send him falling back, and threw it straight at his head. Now, I expected it to hit him in the temple and knock him sideways maybe, or disorient him, but my aim was slightly off, and I winced as the rock connected with the man's jaw, causing a very loud crack and his bottom jaw to just kind of go limp. Now, I took this change to now barrel into him like some football player or something and knock him off of my husband, who had already started to loosen the guy's grip on his throat. Now, we turned around and ran for it. I've never ran so fast or so frantically in my life. My husband and I stayed hand in hand to stop each other from slipping on the desert sand as we ran back to our vehicle. At some point, I guess the hobo found my husband's gun because we heard the sound of a... Katie caused Joel has talked about working. Oh, Katie. Because Joel has. Wait, did she say something? Did she ask a question about. Augusto is being mean to Joel. Augusto! Joel, really knew this. How important is cardio or jogging in your routine as a faceless internet Chad? Honestly, like, my routine the past week was Monday. I went and did like a, high intensity interval, like CrossFit workout with my friend. And then Tuesday through Friday, I do like just weight training split, your typical like upper, lower split. And then after I get done with that, I just do like 20 minutes on the bike, 20 minutes on like a stair stepper, fucking, go on walks. Like, I genuinely don't get super wild about cardio that much. To be honest with you, I think it's fucking sucks. But I will say, I haven't really done CrossFit shit in a while, but then I did it on Monday and I sort of dominated the class. So I felt good to, that my cardio was like still in pretty good shape, even though I've only really been like doing kind of like zone 2, I guess you could say, type stuff for a while. 12 air squats, let's go. Yeah, did we say that last time? 12 air squats is like apparently just as good. We should fart check that real quick. Is 12 air squats just as good as 30 minutes of walking to normalize blood sugar? Still don't know exactly what CrossFit is, only a rough idea. Yeah, CrossFit's fucking stupid. But basically the general concept is you do like strength training at the first part of the hour, like 15-20 minutes, doing like squat, bench, deadlift, shoulder press, and then maybe sometimes some other Olympic weightlifting movements. And then the last part of the class that you take is basically HIIT training, high intensity interval training, with just like random bullshit to make your shoulders fall out of joint. No, I mean, I don't know. CrossFit's fucking stupid. You miss CrossFit? It's, it's fun. It's just like not like, it's so fatiguing. Like, dude, CrossFit is so fucking fatiguing. The people that do it like 6 days a week and just keep coming in, I'm like, you fucking gotta be on steroids, you piece of shit. Like, how are you recovering this fast? I never want to know what Joel looks like because he never is as gorgeous in my imagination. I love his voice. It soothes me when I can't sleep. No worries. Just pretend I'm a pretty little kitty. Joe, I don't do running anymore. I'm 34, but recently went to the doctor for physical, and he told me that it hurt joints running too much. Squats are good and elliptical machine. Yeah, dude, you don't need to go on a jog. I mean, go on a walk. Go on a walk with a weighted vest. Or if you're having bad knees and you want to get some running in, do some fucking hill sprints. Go find a hill, either a grassy one or one in your neighborhood with like, pavement, and just run up that, because that's like apparently way better on your knees, and you're still getting the benefits of, because sprints are supposedly like the elite of the elite, like type of shit you can do for your body, as well as like weight training on top of that. But CrossFit cult got Joel. Yeah, it definitely is very cult, but I will say like CrossFit as a sort of hot, like a general popularity is like at its lowest low. Like it all switched over to what's called like high rocks, which is just basically like going through high intensity interval training, but just for like an hour of just like doing just kind of dumb as fuck shit, you know what I mean? But it seems to be like gathering a lot of attention. If you want like some extended high intensity cardio for like an hour straight, you can try high rocks. I don't really know a lot about it. I haven't really even tried it. Are burpees bad on the knees? I don't think so. I mean, you're just basically pushing up off the ground and bringing yourself up and doing a slight like jumping jack jump. It doesn't even have to be that high. What about classic HIIT? I mean, classic HIITs are like, in my opinion, some of the best workouts if you just want to do them daily. I mean, they can be composed of literally anything, right? For 10 minutes, 12 minutes, just fucking going through stations. Like my one friend does this one thing where he has a deck of cards and then something assigned to that deck of like each, if he gets like a club or a spade or, a diamond, he does, 30, push-ups, 30 air squats, 30 fucking burpee, you know what I mean? He just rotates them through till he's done with the deck of cards, and that's like sort of his random bullshit that he does. And it works for him, I don't know. I think most people kind of establish their like genetic maximum when they start working out from like 14 until they're like 24, and then around 30 you just sort of like cap out. Doesn't mean you can't get stronger and make progress. It's just you sort of figure out what you are genetically by the time you're in your mid 20s, and then by that point there really is not necessarily, unless you're using like exogenous hormones, much. There's not like a ton of progress, right? It starts off the first 2 years feel pretty exponential, and then it tapers off like by year 10. You're an ordained mister, Church of Gnome. We are not a cult. Join us. All right, I'm in. Let's go. Did anyone eat the free pizza at Planet Fitness back in the day? Do they still do that? And also, I think a really funny like fitness trend with someone like traveling across all the Planet Fitnesses across the nation and just trying to set off the lunk alarm. And it's like day 167 of trying to set off the lunk alarm. And they're just fucking throwing a weight through glass. Might try doing random exercises every day. I mean, I definitely think having a routine is better, but if you're ever bored, you know, you could just do a bunch of calisthenic shit like that. I always like use my body weight strength training to start my workouts, push-up, pull-ups, crunches, and then moving on to weights and resistance. That's cool, yeah, that's a good way. Honestly, it's a good warm-up, go through like a cycle of them or whatever. Witness my aura. There it is, bro. Thank you. You do Smeagol Kegels, because I hold my ring tight. Let's fucking go. You should tweet that on Blue Sky. Been the longest since I worked out my entire adult life. Haven't worked out in like half a decade, but it has immediate benefits. Yeah, you got to get into it again. I mean, are we not life maxing, guys? Are we not trying to live as long as we fucking can and just appreciate the life while we have it? Because I mean, you can live, right, for a decent amount of time being fat and out of shape. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. Lynn, thank you for the $1. But that being said, wouldn't you rather be like in shape with some muscles and be able to eat more stuff because you can because you have the muscles, and then have people with that walk by you want to lick your butt? You know what I mean? Isn't that cool? Isn't that a good feeling? I do 3x 12 10 8 reps for strength, and the same thing with weights, starting height, highest weight, going lowest. Sounds good to me. I used to go to YMCA for 2 months. I noticed YMCA gives Doritos with soda whenever there's a swimming contest. I mean, I guess if there's a contest, like maybe you need those like really, really quick, disgusting carbohydrates. But I feel like there's probably some people who don't even touch them. RAF push-ups and crunches are essential. I call them. I count up Monte Cristo exercise along with pull-ups and squats. That sounds nice. I'm all about life maxing. Feel good, look good, laugh a lot, do what makes you happy. Exactly, man. And honestly, sometimes the best way to get out of bed in the morning is to know that you look okay, you know? You're like, all right, I'm okay, I'm not, you know. And then once you get your work out of the way, you feel good. And then you can just go through your day with short booty shorts on, a crew cut that goes like just below the lower tit, and a weave. You're wearing a weave for some reason. I used to be super into bodybuilding, but I got hurt my back and got depressed and skinny fat again. Need to get back into it. Thanks for the motivation. Yeah, if you hurt your back, the one thing that really helped my back was the abductor machine. You know, like you have them at like the different thing at the different, you know, like Planet Fitness or Crunch or all that kind of random bullshit. Every gym has them, YMCA's, and you just do the abductor, and it really like strengthens your glutes, and sometimes injured back can kind of come from that. There's also various other, like the GHD machine's pretty good for that, strengthening your lower back around the injury site, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not about stretching, it's about strengthening. The abductor destroyed you back in the day. Oh yeah, I mean that was the goal. It's like you're supposed to take it to failure, feel like your glutes are burning, and then you're just like good. Losing a ton of weight and not realizing it until you lost the weight does feel nice. That's good. Okay, sorry. What am I even reading? I looked up something. Oh yeah. Not as a one-time set. 12 air squats can help blunt a post-meal glucose spike, but they probably won't match the sustained effort of a 30-minute walk. The often repeated claim that a few squats beat 30-minute walking comes from research where participants perform 3 minutes of squats every 45 minutes throughout an 8.5-hour sitting period, not merely 10 to 12 squats at once. Another small experiment showing an immediate benefit used 3 sets of 10 squats performed 30 minutes after... Okay, 3 sets of 10 squats. 30 minutes of... A useful hierarchy after eating. Reliable option. Walk briskly for 10 to 30 minutes. When you cannot walk, perform 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 air squats. Move continuously for 3 to 5 minutes. When sitting all day, repeated short movement of squat breaks every 30 to 60 minutes frequent activity breaks at my... I can't even fucking read. Holy shit. Activity breaks may control post-meal glucose better than doing one workout than... Okay. Anyways, you get the idea, guys. Just fucking go work out for Christ's sake. 55 squats, 55 pull-ups, 55 fries. Now, I guess this transient found my husband's gun because we heard the sound of it going off, which thankfully seemed to come from nowhere near us. We reached the vehicle, got in, peeled out of there, and then just drove and drove and drove until we found the next rest stop and could call the cops. Now, my husband, being a police officer himself, explained that he was now off duty, obviously, and his personal weapon had been acquired by our assailant. So if they were going to go to that ghost town, they might want to consider the suspect an armed and dangerous one. Now, we waited at the rest stop for 8 hours until an officer arrived. The nearest town was some ways away, and it had taken them a long old while to reach the abandoned town. When they got there was no sign of this guy despite searching all the buildings. They did manage to retrieve my husband's firearm, which they had to take in for evidence, and examine, and they also said that there was no evidence of any entrance into any of the tunnels, and explained that the town had been evacuated back in the 1950s, like the man had claimed, due to a genuine gas leak in those mines. Now, we stayed at the adjoining motel at the rest stop, which put us out of schedule, and it meant that we were almost late for Barbara's wedding, and frankly, I think missing her wedding would have caused more threatening behavior than the hobo ever could. I do wonder what became of that guy. Now, he's probably obviously dead by now, as he was an old man back in the 90s, but you never know. Maybe huffing all that carbon monoxide and being part of his imaginary rock experiments means that he's still out there somewhere, ranting about being evicted by the company, and I'll be very happy never to find that out. Thanks. Hope you enjoy... Oh my god, why do people add this shit? Hope you enjoyed. Gives your viewers a kick. If anyone is a subject of... Okay, we're just gonna skip that. My town is so small we don't have a gym. Some old ladies gather to do aerobics at the church, but otherwise it's a good 40 miles to the next gym. Damn, dude. 40 fucking miles? How far away are you from civilization? That's insane. Honestly, maybe you should move. Or start your own gym. There you go. Are you guy, bro? If nipitit, what is all the hum stuff, my Fred? What are you saying? Are you on drugs? Are you on the old opiates? Maybe huffing all that carbon monoxide or being part of his imaginary rock experiments means he's still out there somewhere, ranting about being evicted by the company. But I'm very happy to never find that out. Thanks. Maybe huffing all that carbon monoxide or being part of his imaginary rock experiments means he's still out there somewhere, ranting about being evicted by the company. This is America. Homie got me slipping, huh? Look how much I zipping now. This is America. Remember that song? I really liked the song Redbone. Redbone was really good. But then the one like, this is America. It's like, wow, what an incredible message. Are there any celebrities, guys, within like the sort of mainstream celebratory culture that's actually not a fucking idiot? You know what I'm saying? Like, where they perform at a high level, at least, you know, whatever Hollywood is considered, or the music industry, and they're not just sort of like a parrot of everybody else's opinion. Those machines with the belts that just jiggle your stomach and waist, that's the level. Dude, I always see those ones where, like, they, like, contracts your stomach and they're like, this is like doing 1,000 crunches. But, like, I don't know if I believe that. But I do want to try it. Jake Gyllenhaal, Keanu Reeves. Have I met a celebrity? I met David Cross in the airport. I shook his hand there, but he was busy. And then I met, you know, Tyler, the Creator, out of the airport, and he was not very happy. Like, none of them seemed very happy to really I met what the hell's his name? Michael Ironside. And Michael Ironside is a G, bro. Michael Ironside's the coolest dude ever. And he says he has a movie coming up where he gets to be Anton LaVey. Let's check this out. Michael Ironside, Anton LaVey movie. You were thinking of the 2020 Supernatural Late Night with the Devil. No, I mean, though he did a voiceover for that in the beginning. He did great. Wait. No, it's not that. Wait. Oh my God. I feel so silly. Does he have one coming up? Starship Poopers. It's such a good movie, bro. You met Waka Flocka Flame twice. He was awesome. I bet. Waka Flocka does seem cool. Anthony Bourdain was the GOAT. Yeah. He's dead, but Robin Williams, yeah. I remember hearing about Robin Williams, like, coming back from doing performance and then just, like, getting to his room and, like, putting his head down and just being in, like, a deeply saddened mindset. And the reason he was so sad is because basically cocaine had completely fucked his, like, dopamine receptors, and then once he's done with the cocaine, he just, like, can't feel anything anymore. Tyler, the Creator's always fucking complaining and bitching in the media, seems insufferable and pretentious as fuck. You know, probably, man. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just sort of like a pampered, grown-up child in, like, a weird way. I'm not saying he is that per se. I'm sure he's nice in person, but I mean, like, how old is his ass? He's Tyler, the Creator, isn't he my age or some shit? I'm fucking 30, goddamn 6. Oh, he's got a little mustache now. That's exciting. Tyler is 35, 91. I don't know. I mean, I guess if... who cares, right? Who gives a shit? People can just be... Honestly, what do you expect from people who just, like, don't do anything ever and everything is just provided to them? Like, they're going to turn... Like, it's basically like coddling a child their whole life. They're going to be spoiled brats. That's just how everybody is, you know? And if nobody ever corrects them or tells them to shut the fuck up, or there's no consequences for their behavior, like, that's just how humans learn. Nick Paz, thank you. Welcome to the Buttersalt Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Timothy Oliphant is super down to earth and calls out goofy actor culture as he thinks that they're all silly and huffing their own farts. He does great interviews and a great actor. Let's check this guy out. Timothy Oliphant. Oh, this guy. Yeah, dude, he's cool. Man, what a hunk. That's fun. I think I vaguely... Was he in the movie... Dang, what was that movie called? The Dreamcatcher? Stephen King's Dreamcatcher. Was he in that one? Because I think he did a really good job in that. Dude, do I have someone make fun? You may not even know Tom Waits. He's amazing music acting. Look him up. Okay, let's see. Tom Waits. Oh, I think I may have seen him somewhere. He looks a bit like the homeless guy we just read about in that previous story, but maybe it is. Jim Carrey. Yeah, I haven't seen Jim Carrey in anything in forever other than, like... Did he actually get surgery done on his face, or is he good? Morgan Freeman seems pretty normal. Yeah, it seems like all the good celebrities, the ones who aren't just, like, so far up their ass, are usually the ones that just, like, are intelligent about how they communicate with media. Like, if you are in the realm of celebrity, you just have to be really, really intelligent and smart about how you market yourself and say things to the media and all this kind of stuff, because the second that you say something kind of just like dickheadish, it's going to get taken out of context, and like America is just so volatile right now that like one bad comment can completely tank your whole fucking bullshit. Denzel Washington and Samuel Jackson have done a lot of good behind the scenes donating money. That's good. I hear they like strip clubs. Poll time. Who was worse, villain, Hitler or Jenny from Forrest Gump? Curious. The Office in a few episodes. It's called PR training. You should be in charge. Justin, what would you tell me to do in my PR training, since I'm going to be a huge celebrity here soon? Good evening. Let's read. Well, probably afternoon for you, if it's evening for me. You see, I live in a country in Europe. I won't say exactly where, because even after all these years, I could get into trouble for speaking out against my own government. The kind of trouble that costs you a pound of flesh, if you know what I mean. Our ruling has always been dictatorial, but it was worse back then. Back then is around 50 years ago, when I was just out of my teenage years. Now, perhaps you've heard of Centralia, an abandoned town in Pennsylvania that's, from what I understand, is always on fire. Underground, anyways, and I assume you've heard of it. It's a very famous tale here in Europe and inspired a lot of fiction and art. Now, not every town is as lucky as Centralia when it comes to the awareness that the treatment of its resident... That's kind of funny. People just want a reason to be outraged. Yeah, I don't even know. I really want to meet, like, I genuinely want to meet... Okay, wouldn't it be kind of fun to meet the most the biggest loser on Twitter? You know what I mean? Like the reply guys on Twitter who are just like pissed about everything and causing up its... Like, I like to imagine that they just like type all that shit all day, every day. I don't even know, actually. Because there are probably some like people that get no likes at all and are just on Twitter fucking 24/7 addicted to the feeling of saying some stupid shit. But it would be funny, the ones that like stir up a lot of the shit, at least in the moral sort of lens, just gets off and then just does not give a fuck about anything at all. AKA Elon. Yeah, how does Elon even have time to tweet? I don't even know what he does. Maybe he is like just sort of a fucking Rothschildian robot or something. Thought it was called X. They changed it back, I think, to Twonger, to Tweeber. There's another town named Centralia, Missouri, where the Centralia Massacre and the Battle of Centralia took place. Oh. The Battle of the Bulge. Whenever my underwear is too tight. I also saw the actor who played Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. I saw him in Boston at a train station. That's cool. That's sick. Not every town is as lucky as Centralia when it comes to awareness and the treatment of its residents, though. Now, I'm sure they don't feel that way. I know that many of them felt forced out of their homes, and I sympathize deeply. And when I say lucky, I of course also don't mean that they experienced any kind of luck. What I mean is that there are some towns where terrible things happen to cause them to become abandoned, and governments such as ours will cover it up and force the residents to go and find new locations to live, with only the smallest stipend to cover the cost of relocation. And this is what happened to my town when I was 23. Now, obviously, I cannot name the town because I cannot name the country, but you'd have to dig pretty deeply to find any meaningful records or evidence of what went on anyway. And I made the mistake in the past of talking about this too loudly and too frequently, and came dangerously close to being hoisted by my own retard. Hoisted by my own... Can you send Justin to boot camp? No, because he would just turn it into pedlum and pandemonium. Everyone would break rank and file because they'd be so excited to see Jay. Big J, they call him. Jaston. Boot camp? More like slipper camp, yeah. Justin be going to croc camp. And he'd have like little Mickey Mouse things inside of his croc holes. I made the mistake in the past of talking about this too loudly and too frequently and came dangerously close to shooting myself in the foot, as they say. And so, for a bit of background about our town, it wasn't even a town really, it was sort of a tiny village tucked into the mountains. Now we knew that the other side of the mountain range was riddled with mines and various mineral mining operations, but as far as we were aware, the land beneath our village was solid and no mining operations were conducted anywhere near our place of living. Now this seemed to be true. We never saw construction vehicles or knew of any mines nearby. And then one day, a supposed construction company moved into the village to build what they called a refuge into the mountainside. Now they wouldn't explain to us what exactly this was or what it was a refuge for, but it involved some machinery that I've never seen for basic construction before, like this huge bore drill with tank-like track. There's a boar. What was the only time I heard the mosquito? How is this going? I don't know. I can't read, guys. I can't read. They wouldn't explain to us exactly what this was or who it was a refuge for, but it involved some machinery that I'd never seen for basic construction, like a bore drill with tank-like tracks to drill into the mountainside. Now, 3 days after the company moved in, we were all awoken by what felt like an earthquake and rumbling under our feet that caused pictures to fall off of walls and plates to fall out of cabinets. Now, we had never once had an earthquake in the area. Not once, and I don't even know if they really work like that halfway up on a mountain. But we were all certain that we'd felt an earthquake as we came running out of our houses. At this time it was just past 5 a.m. The sun was starting to rise and some of us were still in our night clothes. And I remember one of my neighbors sobbing and screaming that the rapture was coming. It was honestly insanity. We began to gather in the street when suddenly we had to clear out of the way. A bunch of the construction company's vehicles were speeding through the village and down the road. Now, I couldn't help but notice that the drill wasn't there, although even if it was, it would have moved at a much slower pace. Now, we didn't receive answers for 2 days. The earthquake had broken our ill-maintained telephone poles and we were essentially stranded, left to pick up the pieces and clean up our houses after the quake. Now, eventually, the technicians came in to fix the telephone poles, including a much-needed upgrade, and with them came a representative from that construction company. There had been an explosion in the mines, he said, and when we questioned him on what he meant by mines, he quickly changed his story. The explosion had been in the refuge that they were constructing, and he was just used to talking about mines, so he'd made a slip of the tongue. And of course, this is when I first got suspicious. Now, this man explained that the mountainside had become unstable and our little town was in danger of possibly a landslide. He said that the government had agreed to offer us all a small stipend to relocate and that the new housing site around the base of the mountain had enough unsold properties for all of us to move in for cheap. Now, of course, we later discovered that the materials used to build the new housing development was extremely subpar and, surprise, surprise, the housing development had been built by the same construction company who were building the refuge. Now, a few days after the construction company representative had left, promising that we'd all receive relocation packets in the mail, I decided to sneak to the construction site. Now imagine my surprise, instead of an abandoned site and signs of some explosion, there were 2 armed guards and clear evidence that the construction work was still underway. Now, there was no way that I was risking getting shot to death. Curiosity killed that. What's the rapture? I don't really know. I feel like the rapture is like pretty heavily not clear in the book of Revelation. Like, people always talked about it, but it seems to be more of almost like an inferred existence, similar to like purgatory and like Catholicism or whatever. You believe in one conspiracy, but it'll start too many arguments? I like arguments. We like to argue here. Healthily argue. Have you seen a woman that had surgery to make their tongues like a snake? Why do they do that? I guess maybe so they can lick 2 wieners, Bill. 2 wieners. Joe, have you or would you ever go to a rave until 6 a.m.? Have I been to a rave? I don't know. I've never taken drugs and gone to a rave. Maybe it's the best time of my life. Maybe it's the worst. Who knows? How beat up are my Crocs? I wish I had Crocs. I used to have Mickey Mouse Crocs back in the day. I had them since like high school for like a decade, and then they had fucking holes in the bottoms of them. But they were great for like walking through rivers and stuff like that. There was no way that I was risking getting shot to death. Curiosity killed the cat, I like to say, so it was a case of having to relocate with my parents and the rest of the town. For something that wasn't our fault, and it sure ended up costing us more than the government offered. But like I said, our government isn't the one that allows you to just complain. Life went on, but I could never get our old Disneyland. Life went on, but I could never get our old town out of my head. I developed this theory, though, that there was no accidental explosion. It was a rigged explosion designed to cause us to leave, and that there was no refuge, whatever that meant, but they discovered veins of some kind of ore in the tunnels in our part of the mountain. But mining there would have been dangerous with a populated village, even if it had only about 50 or so people. Much easier to fake a disaster and force us to relocate. Now, I moved on and moved to a different part of the country. My parents had passed on not long after we relocated and caught in some fatal car accident caused by a drunk driver at the wheel, who, of course, had the pleasure of surviving. I had nothing keeping me in this new housing estate. No memories, no connections, and always been a loner, always kept to myself, and I'd been homeschooled and had never bothered to make friends my age. And so I traveled the country for a while and then settled down. Let's go to freaking Disney World. Come on, my treat. Disneyland. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old for there. I would just go there and look for Disney's disembodied frozen head. Which is true. When I went there, some guy with a Mickey Mouse outfit, he lifted his thing. He's like, "Hey, kid." Now, at this point, I was already in my 30s, but he called me a kid. I said, "Yes, sir? You want to know something?" He's like, yeah. I said, "You're not going to show me your cock, are you?" No, what the fuck? That's fucking weird. No, shut up. Listen, if you want to find something cool here, you're going to want to see Walt Disney's disembodied frozen fucking head. And I know exactly where it's at. And as he said that, a fucking sniper shot him through the fucking heart. And then I went on to like Splash Mountain. I really couldn't be bothered with whatever was occurring there, so. But it definitely let me know that they know something they're not telling us. You spend all your time standing in line. They do make Disney World's lines a little bit exciting. Like, there's shit to stare at, but I will say, yeah, it's kind of insane when you go to those places, or just when you go to like amusement parks in general, and standing in line takes up the majority of your majority of your time, and you go there at like 9 in the morning, and then it's like fucking 9 p.m. after like 3 rides. It's crazy. You prefer an exploding microphone, Charlie Kirk it up? You know what I was thinking? I think I have information to prove that Charlie Kirk is alive. And he's living down on an island near the ice wall. I don't know. They're doing some trial or whatever. I will say no further. You had to get the $75 Fast Pass bundle. Of course I do. And then I gotta suck fucking Mickey's big curly Q mouse tail. So I traveled the country for a while and then settled down far from where I grew up. But still, the old town was on my mind. And so one day I decided to track down some of the families that I'd grown up with just to check in, except I couldn't. For most of them, it was like they'd simply disappeared. I found a handful of obituaries, names that I recognized, and in one case, an entire family of 4 who'd passed within a period of 2 years. I managed to get a hold of a few families, and not one of them wanted to hear from me. They didn't say so, of course. They were all far too polite for that, but you could tell that they wanted to get me off the phone as soon as possible. One person even got pretty angry at the fact that I'd managed to track them down, until I explained that they were in the phone book, and their answer is that I'll have to rectify that. Other than all feeling very hostile, the few villagers that I spoke to all had one other thing in common. They all sounded kind of sick. They all had coughs, every one of them, and they all had the same raspy quality to their voices. Now, I can't completely explain this, but the most logical explanation to me is that whatever fault that they opened when they created the explosion to access that mine, it unleashed something, some type of fumes, or burned some type of material. I can't fucking read, dude. Saw the video of Charlie getting shot. I knew he was dead immediately. He lost too much blood too quick. Yeah, they should bring you on for the trial. Ask you some questions. What does Lit Gaming 999 know that we don't? Disney's so overrated. Yeah, I went there when I was like 17. It was probably way too late to be going to Disneyland, but it's the only time I ever... Well, no, I went to Disney World, I think, in Anaheim later on, and that was fun, but I would say Disney World in Florida was cooler, because entering the park, you got to take like a little fucking boat. You're glad you're not my publicist? What's a publicist? I don't know, man. Isn't it so stupid that celebrities just have to like all day, every day worry about the dumb shit they have to say? I guess it makes sense, seeing as I judge celebrities on what they say all the time. Is there any way we can all just be fucking morons and nobody get upset about it or lose jobs? You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit about what people say or think or whatever? It's strange to think that the majority of the internet is just information, right? And then it's arguing about information. And it's arguing about people's opinions of information. And then it's arguing about people's opinions of the information. It's just like this perpetual realm of like mishmash of like words stacking upon each other like sedimentary rock. Except it's all like poop rock. It's, fossilizes over and it stinks. My pubicist. I like the actresses that just live a private life between movies and shows. That's smart. I probably shouldn't live stream at all. I should just be like Mr. Spooky Scary and just not ever live stream. Now, I can't entirely explain this, but the most logical explanation to me is that whatever that fault line they opened when they created the explosion to access the mine, it unleashed some type of fumes or burned some type of material that affected almost all of the population. I made my final call in 1992, and the next day I received a knock at the door. I answered to be greeted. Dude, what the fuck is going on? J-Rock, that's too many gnome sayings. You said it like 80, 90 times, man. What are you talking about? Gnome senses? Gnome senses? I know, I do really say gnome saying too much. It's like I'm trying to figure out if the gnome actually understands what I'm saying. Big man, I didn't know you actually were reading to us live. I thought this was one of those forever going lives. No, yeah, this gives me something to do since recording stories is like fucking monotonous to no end. Mr. Spooky Scary is your favorite YouTuber, but not after the incident. What did Mr. Spooky Scary do, guys? Can you fill me in on the lore of Mr. Spooky Scary and all of his controversies? No live stream? Where else can you talk about all of our male Halloween parties? That's a good point. If Joel stops live streaming, I'm done with the internet. Alright, I'll never stop. I'll never stop, never stopping. You need to watch Trailer Park Boys. I've seen some clips. I've seen a lot of clips, but I should just start it from the beginning. I love the lives. Thank you. I appreciate you. What's up, Eric? How we doing? I made my final call in 1992, and the next day I received a knock at the door. Now I answered to be greeted by two government officials who flashed some official badges at me. They wore these black suits, sunglasses, and to me were genuinely men in black. Only they weren't here to silence me about anything fun like aliens. Instead, I was warned to stop harassing the families that I'd lived alongside in the housing estate. And finally they warned that if I knew what was good for me, I would forget that I ever grew up in a mountain town and that I'd certainly never been in proximity to some explosion of any sort. And then one of the agents brushed his jacket aside, revealing a firearm, and I was suitably silenced at that point. Now, whatever happened in my town will forever remain a mystery. While there are mysteries surrounding Centralia, my tale proves that it can be a lot worse. Not that it's some competition, but both of them seem to be tragedies to me. Now, I'm pretty far along in life now, and I've just had the results back from the hospital, and there is starting to show shadowing in my lungs because the chest x-ray that I requested after... How do you feel if Mr. Blobby knocked on your door past 8 p.m.? Mr. Blobby? I don't know if I would answer. Your favorite scary story was corpse_husband. He was the scary story. Do you think your channel would do better or worse if you stopped live streaming? I feel like it low-key would do better, honestly. Sometimes I think the live stream notifications like kind of cut into other stuff, or maybe somebody hears me say something they don't like and they unsubscribe, right? So it's like sometimes it's better within the realm of like celebrity to just sort of allow people to perceive you as they do in their mind, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. What site can I watch Obsession for free? I don't really know. Do I like Lazy Masquerade? Yeah, I like Lazy. He's a really nice guy. And I like his content. I wish Lazy got more views because, like, I see, like, his individual videos get, like, a lot of views in the moment, but it seems like you would expect that the, you know, especially since it's, like, true crime, that they would start to accrue from the past. Actually, let me check. Not to pry into his existence or anything like that. It just, sometimes you see people with like true crime or more documentary style stuff, it's like the views from the past seem to continue to generate a lot of like momentum. Lazy Masquerade. Is it just one word? You know, who gives a shit? You get the idea. But yeah, he's a great channel. You should go subscribe. Spin more rhymes than a lazy Susan. I'm an innocent until my guilt is proven. J-Rock. Exactly. What's up, Anna? Anne-Marie, how we doing? Whatever happened in my town will forever remain a mystery. While there are mysteries surrounding Centralia, my tale proves that it could be a lot worse. Not that it's some competition, but to me, both truly were tragedies. Alright, anyways. I think Lazy's content went downhill. Did it? I don't even know. I guess I don't really like watch. I'll like listen to his stuff and I like his voice and energy and that kind of thing, but I don't really watch the videos per se. You cannot stand Stephanie Harlow. Rotten Mango is a great true crime person. Was it Stephanie Harlow? I don't even know these people. Harlow. Oh, it's a YouTuber. With 1 million subscribers, Egg Snackly. Oh, she's doing pretty good. The Deep Dark Maxwell Connection to Jeffrey Epstein and Zorro Ranch. That sounds like a video I'd probably watch. Lynette Hooker vanished in the Bahamas, and her husband's story makes no damn sense. Well, she makes some fucking two-hour ass videos. Holy shit. Her voice sounds like she's like 5'1". Just wanted to stop by and give my perspective. I've been listening for 5 years. Do you ever think about viewers' lives changing continuously by sticking to your routine for familiar and comfort? Yeah, you know, it definitely seems to happen. Like sometimes people will be like, Joel, I was born whenever I subscribed and now I'm on my deathbed and I've listened to you my whole life. Thank you so much for being an eternal being that's gotten me through existence and that I pray to every night before bed. And I'm like, of course, man, anytime. I do my best. Have you considered Rumble? Channels doing live streams like Yellow Flashes started live on YouTube, but later say that we'll go live over on Rumble. No. They even have said the N-word. How exciting. Jesus. That's the big motivator. We gotta get over on Rumble right now. No, I think I had a Rumble thing real quick, but it was just too much pain in the ass to like maintain. You know what I mean? And I have a channel over there, but I don't know. You know. YouTube is where I make my money. I just don't really feel like fucking with it, you know what I mean? She just has this grating, horrible voice, in my opinion, but her thumbnail facial expressions are disturbing. Oh, well, you know, that's how art is, right? It's just... Dude, her voice sounds so familiar. Why do I feel like I've heard her voice somewhere? I'm not trying to pick on her or anything. I like her voice. It's just, it sounds so familiar.
In rougher waters. So when the weather is good, this is a pretty calm area.
Who does she sound like?
That's why boats are anchored there and docked there. The water is relatively smooth. It's easy cruising. Now, when the conditions are windy, you can get some short, choppy waves, enough to jostle a small dinghy, and we can see the...
Jostling my small dinghy. Okay. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, like, if you're doing a creator character, it's like woman voice number 3 that you get to choose. But yeah, no, I like her channel. It's cool. The Tape Library is your current fave channel. Okay, what's that about? Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh, that's true, yeah. Melon Lord? What's Melon Lord? Okay, sorry, I'm distracted. Oh, it sounds like... It's the accent I can't say. Chappy Waves John. Chappy John. Huh. What accent is it? Is it Philadelphia? Joe, you've helped me a lot when I was a caregiver to my sister. I play your videos in the background to help me get to sleep. It was kind of like a mental escape from my reality. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you so much for letting me know. That's cool. Cool that I can help you there. Anytime. Yeah, life is tough, man. Life is very tough. I feel like I've just been like, I don't even know what the fuck it is. Like, it's like I need like constant distractions. It's like the second that like my mind has time to just sort of like wade in its existence for a while, it's like I start to just like disassociate from reality in like a strange way. Now that honestly sounds like way more dramatic than it is, because it's genuinely not that big of a deal. I have a very great life to be thankful for, but it's just so weird. I feel like once I hit 30, you know what I mean? It's like you're getting away from the shore, and then all of a sudden you're like, I just feel like I'm in like the ocean with no knowledge of which direction to go as far as where an island is. Maybe I should consult with the stars. Maybe I should consult with the stars, guys. Sean Lynch, welcome to the Buttersuck Cult. You now have access to bonus content. It's because life is so fucking boring and redundant. Yeah, I really need to like think of just some new shit to start rowing. Yeah, true. Choose a direction and go. You'll land somewhere, right? You have a serious question from the heart. You can ask whatever, man. Snaps for me, thank you. Thanos snaps for you, though. See ya. Goodbye. Tape library is about real paranormal encounters and viewer-submitted paranormal stories narrated by a human voice. He does long-form storytelling, and he shows his cock once in a while. Huh. Can you do that on YouTube? You can just show your cock on screen while narrating. It's just like a close-up of like below his waist, but he's like still talking. He doesn't realize the camera like fell down on the desk and is recording directly there. This is a real human penis. Where are the Pradeep pictures? The Pradeep files? They'll be dropping soon. The story that I want to send you happened in the early 2000s, when me and my friends were a bit more reckless and crazy than we are now. These days we prefer a quiet beer on the lawn while the kids play in the pool. Our days of exploring random abandoned towns and desert death traps are over. It's like they say, getting old sucks, but everyone's doing it. Now I can't remember which one of us had the bright idea. There was me, my name's Carl, my friend Richie, Sam, and Carson. It was probably Sam. He was always the one with crazy ideas about outdoor adventures. And I just don't want to 100% put the blame at his feet, just in case. You know, all I know is that it wasn't me who suggested that we become wilderness explorers with absolutely no experience or knowledge. Now, I was all okay, so we just gonna do a bunch of reading and buy all this equipment on some meager budget and stuff, and whoever's idea it was turned to me and said, no, we're just gonna do it. Okay, I know it wasn't Carson who suggested it actually, and you'll see why later. Carson's the hero of this... It's not to say do the bad things, but it feels more like our brains are a constant need to explore, discover, and wander. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like a part of me, like at, you know, I'm 36, right? It's just like strange. I don't really feel much different than I did at 26, which didn't really feel much different at like 20. And I know some people say that's like a lack of growth. That could be true. It could just be like maybe I figured shit out in like 7th grade and just never fucking changed. Who knows? Anyways, the point being is that part of me, as I've said before, is like, oh, you know, you got to start the family, you got to get all that kind of shit. But then another part of me thinks like, what if you really devote yourself towards that and then it just ends up making you feel like you're even more trapped than you were before? Or maybe that's a trap of thought. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of things out loud. You get the idea, though. Now, Carson's the hero of this story, and you should know that straight up. I don't think he's paid for a single beer when he's been with us for the last 23 years. He's a legend of a man and also a very quiet fella. Now anyway, the culprit, who I'm getting increasingly certain was Sam, explained that there was a ghost town in the desert, just 50 miles from the Arizona town that we all lived in. Now I said, you mean a haunted town? And I was only half joking because I didn't really know what a ghost town really was. Now Sam, oh yeah, sorry Sam, you're getting the blame and I remembered it was you. He responds, No, you dingus. A ghost town is one of those old towns, usually from maybe the Wild West, abandoned when they realized there was no gold in them thar hills, or, pillaged by bandits or other folks. No, I'm not sure he said exactly that, then there was probably a lot more slurs and cursing since it was Sam, but that was the gist of it. And so we set off, the four of us, completely Joel, you were baby-trapped. Baby-trapped does sound quite terrifying. Do you feel different being 36 to 16? I definitely think so, for sure. It's just, remembering back to my 16-year-old self, there's a lot of, what makes me now is still pretty much that person, there's always just, incremental changes, obviously. It's never, wildly different ones. Thankfully, I never had to, go to fucking Afghanistan and see someone get blown up or whatever, but, yeah. You have to ponder these things when you're in Japan getting served a succulent Chinese meal by a cat maid. That's so fucking true, dude. I feel like we gotta go in September. A Japan trip, September. I can buy a laptop. I can bring my microphone, right? I can make sure everything's set up to upload videos on my laptop. And I can just do Japan shit. How long can you... Oh, fuck. Oh, crap. I need to renew my passport. I think my passport is definitively expired. Anybody know how long that takes? Does that take a long-ass time to renew it? Oh, shit. What's up, C-Money? What's up, Life? Life once lived. And so we set off, the four of us completely unprepared to explore a desert town 50 miles from home. At least we brought plenty of water and had the foresight to pack warm clothes for those chilly desert nights. Our plan was to reach the ghost town by nightfall, sleep in the car, and then explore by day. Now, we'd been driving for around 40 miles when we saw a group of guys with trucks who'd pitched some tents around. From the looks of things, they'd been living in the desert for a bit, and they'd set up a little bit of a commune or something. They looked like good-time lads, kind of like us, really. Our age, quietly laughing and just drinking beers around a campfire. Now, they must have noticed that we'd slowed as we passed them, and one of them waved for us to stop. Now, I was the driver, so I did and wound down the window. The guy invited us to chill with them because they hardly ever saw anyone come out this way, and certainly not people our age, their age. Joe, if you hate long flights, you would hate flying to Japan. I'm going first class, guys. I'm gonna buy the plane. Just kidding. Joe, I'm renewing mine. It's much easier when you renew within a 5-year window of expiration. Okay, that's good, because I think mine expired this year. When I got my passport brand new, it only took 2 or 3 days without paying an expedite. Oh yeah, where do you go to renew passports and shit? Joe, postal worker here, you get me expedited for processing if you need your passport quicker. Oh, sweet, okay. Thank you. Just take a Xanax and pass out. Take a Xanny on the flight. Out like a light. Like a light. I just remember oh god, the one 13-hour flight from LAX to fucking Australia, right? It wasn't the worst. I had a really nice person next to me and they were there was a seat between us. But it was, you couldn't fucking sleep, right? It was just a perpetual state of just your mouth would be dry as shit and I don't know. You wouldn't want a personal jet. I don't know, I heard those personal jets go missing a lot. But I also don't know if I could ever justify paying for first class when it 10x's how much shit costs, doesn't it? Isn't it super expensive to do first class? You want to go to Australia? Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty much the same as America, but actually it's not the same as America. It's actually quite nicer than America. It's just more expensive. Didn't it take you 2 days to fly from America to Australia? It did, man. It was like Philadelphia to fucking Dallas, and then Dallas to fucking what the fuck was it? I don't even remember. It sucked. Dallas to LAX, and LAX to Sydney, and then other, you know, it was just, and there's all these layovers, and I'm just like basically getting like 90,000 steps in between each layover, and I'm sweaty as shit, and I'm fucking gross, and I don't know, it's rough, man. You got a crazy Yakuza story from a trip back in 01. I'd like to submit. Yeah, dude, send it in. Let's read submissions at gmail.com. What happened? Can you like tell us here? Because I feel like I never get to hear about the Yakuza. Joel hated his trip down under. I didn't hate it. It just like was not as exciting as I feel like it could have been, or like in as far as like exploring the sights and sounds and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of there was a lot of carrot cake, which was fine, but I could have like ate carrot cake and watched fucking shitty movies at my own house, you know what I mean? The guy invited us to chill with them because they hardly ever saw anyone come out this way, and certainly not fellas their age. They looked a bit hillbilly, but I mean, really, we were from southern Arizona, so were we. And we piled out of the car and perched ourselves on nearby crates and logs while our new friends kindly offered us some beers. Now, we offered them some cans in exchange, but they weren't having any of it. We were their guests. They were fun, really jokey, honestly, and made us laugh a whole bunch. Now, Sam especially seemed to fit in well with them, being the hick that he is, and only Carson seemed to keep to himself, just offering a polite smile and laugh occasionally. Now, while Carson was always the quiet one, he was usually a little more sociable than this, and I wondered if something was bothering him. Now, it soon came up to us as to why we were driving through the desert. It soon came up as... You're scared of their spiders? I think they got rid of all their spiders. Joel, would you marry a hillbilly lady from the Ozarks? Oh, 100%, yeah. As long as she's part Bigfootian. Sasquatchian. I'm from Guam and I met the dude there, gave me his number, so I called him. When I got to Shinjuku, he picked me up and my buddy and basically took us on a weed run. Oh. Did anything bad happen? In Japan? Or that sounds kind of cool. You don't like carrot cake, Sharon? Why not, dude? Carrot cake fucking rocks, dude. I don't know. I've been fortunate with my travel where my, like, delays on flights are never, like, extraordinarily bad. Raisins are what make it unpalatable to me. Oh, in the interior, you mean? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the texture of just stuff inside the, it's just a very I really like dense, very, very dense baked goods, you know what I mean? Is that Fry? Fry, were you here the whole time? Did you clock in? You're not getting paid overtime. I needed a local as a tour guide. I mean, I technically had friends there, you know, but just, I don't know, it's whatever. It was just more like, I kind of expected more outback, but like where it was more like of a city vibe, but it was like a city vibe of like shit I've seen a million times. Like it just seems like everywhere you go all over the world, it's the same crap, you know? Just like stuff, just Pizza Huts interconnected by like highways. And that's fine, it's just not that exciting. I saw a Fry clock in while you're reading. Okay, good. He won't be getting a tardy mark on his report card from Mummy. It soon came up as to why we were driving through the desert at sunset, since we were clearly locals heading away from... We were clearly locals? I don't know what the fuck this is saying. It soon came as... Oh my god. It soon came up as to why we were driving through the desert at sunset, since we were clearly locals heading away from town. Sam, without a thought, told them that we'd heard about this ghost town nearby, and we wanted to explore when the sun came up. Now, immediately, these desert dwellers started putting on some fake 80s gas station attendant voices, like, "Y'all don't want to go down there. That place is cursed. You kids stay away from that town, year. There's nothing to be found but death." And the best one, the guy who told a story about how the town was abandoned because it had fallen victim to a skindigo, which is sort of like a Wendigo meets a skinwalker apparently, and only happens when the dog man has sex with a Jersey Devil. Now, it's a pretty epic story, and it caused them to break character and descend into fits of laughter. They did tell us, however, that the town was better explored at night if we had some pretty powerful flashlights and equipment. In the daytime, all we'd see is rotting bits of wood and remnants of a long abandoned town, but if you go there at night, you'll see fireflies and feel this whole atmosphere that gives the place a completely different angle. And now that I think about it, they were really insistent that we explore at night, and maybe that should have been a red flag. The group suddenly announced that since the sun had set and it was starting to get cold, they'd be going to their tents, so they wished us luck in our explorations. They said to say hello if we ever came out this way again and encountered them. And so we got back in my vehicle, this fairly new SUV that I was very proud of at the time, and headed the final 10 miles in to the ghost town. Sam was riding shotgun, which meant that I didn't get a chance to talk to Carson, who'd been up front with me for most of the ride. Sam insisted on blasting 80s rock through my stereo system, so no conversation of any kind was really possible. And finally, we could see the rotting logs, the rotting tree logs, the foreskin ego, the foreskin to go. Don't go out in the woods, there's foreskin to goes on the res. Do you have reservations to come on my reservation to see the foreskin to go? I love flying, but I hate everything that goes along with it. Yeah, it's just like a stressful place, and you constantly have to contemplate the realities of all the humans that you're around, you know what I mean? Because they're all just like people just like you, right? An unfortunate state of affairs, really. And you have to sonder their existence. You have to ponder the fact that they also have to eat food, they gotta poop, they gotta jerk off, they gotta laugh. That's stupid shit. The stuff they laugh at is not as cool as what we laugh at, usually. And it's like, but then it's like you look at them and they're just, they're so gross and disgusting and dangerous and weird, and they're basically what I like to call useless eaters. And soon there will be a calling. All of them will be gone in the blink of an eye. Just kidding. Okay. No one is like me, and I must remind them of this failure at every moment. Just a bunch of slugs. Bunch of fucking slugs. Everyone's an idiot except me. Finally, we could see the rotting logs that made up the remains of the entrance to the ghost town. We stopped the vehicle about 20 feet away and just straight up began walking towards the town. Carson stopped us. He told us that he actually had a bit of experience with wilderness survival, and having been quite a big player in the Scouts in his youth, he didn't make it sound that gay, he asked us if we'd let him go first. Now, I took the opportunity to ask what was wrong, and he said that he'd been getting odd vibes from those guys back at that tent. Now, I was surprised. They seemed fine, and then he explained that their trucks had only recently been parked there, and they had a fairly deep tire tracks. They had fairly deep tire tracks that he noticed, and he also said that he'd spotted a number of shotguns and rifles just lying around inside their tents and in the truck beds. I hadn't seen any of this, and to this day, this is why Carson is our goddamn hero. And so he approached first, and we followed behind him. His flashlight was mostly sweeping the sandy floor for some reason, and every time we tried to ask him anything, he just sort of shush us. Now, he seemed to study the two poles serving as the town's entrance for quite a while, especially shining his flashlight in between them. When he was satisfied, he took a few steps inside and then stopped. He pointed to two small poles stretched further across the entrance, and then told us to look at this. He shone his flashlight between them, and then there, glinting in the light, was very clear metal wire. It didn't look like some type of wire. What time did this start? You're late. It started 2 hours and 16 minutes ago, but that's okay. Oh, fuck, dude. Sometimes I'm like streaming and then I just like get hit with this like feeling that I'm streaming and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? When did this start? I feel like Nikki and fucking Obsession like coming out and she's like, it's not me! It's not me! It's kind of how I am, but like, I'm like way more chill. I gotta see how to say this word. Sorry. Anyone from Alaska or spent time there? When is the best time to visit? I think we might have somebody from Alaska in here. Garot. Garot. Piano wire. Oh, okay. Who is Nikki? Misty, you call yourself a true horror fan and you haven't watched the greatest horror movie of all year? You haven't watched the greatest horror movie of the past month? And then we'll have another one a month from now that everyone raves about and then forgets about? Do I find Indy Navarrete attractive? Yeah, she's kind of like insanely beautiful, yeah. A rabbi doesn't ask for money for a bris. Everybody's just telling dad jokes. Alright, now's the best time, but there's a lot of other tourists now, but this is the time for fish and salmon and hooligan, halibut, shrimp dipping, crabbing. Oh, okay, so you're saying that would mean the grizzlies are kind of going nuts too, right? Or no? Analyzing Evil did a good obsession analysis today. What did they find? Alright, it didn't look like the garage. It didn't look like the garrote wire or piano wire or anything that would slice your head or feet off, but it certainly was some kind of tripwire designed to do something. We're leaving. Now, Carson said, and none of us disagreed with him. And then as we turned to exit through the entrance poles, all at once, I felt something bite into my ankle. Now at first, I thought it was a damn snake had gotten to me, but then the pain grew worse and spread across my whole ankle and I started screaming in pain. Carson shined his flashlight down and I stepped. I was in Alaska end of May, early June. That's cool. There are bears, but they stay away from you too. I've only seen a wild bear twice in my 26 years. That's just like one of my absolute worst fears ever. It's just like getting fucking chased down by a 30 miles per hour, 1,000-pound fucking grizzly as it just like slowly peels my butt cheek off. I don't even know if it would like eat me, honestly. I think it would just want to like rip my cheeks open and get the cream inside. High 60s, my lower limit for outdoorsies. Your lower limit? Oh, that does make sense, yeah. What's up, Alyssa? Guys, I literally hate bears. Yeah, same here, bro. Well, it's like I don't hate them. Like, I love them. But I hate what they do to us. Why can't they be like the orcas or the orangutans? And because at some point, the native tribes had made a peace treaty with these two specific creatures, and honestly, it served us very well. And if I don't know if the Navajo are busy at all this weekend or whatever, but it would be really nice if they could set up a little bit of a pact with grizzly bears and various other forms of them. Joel, you're from Pennsylvania. You're used to seeing bears. No, they're rare, and black bears are way, way, way different than fucking grizzly bears. Like, a grizzly bear would pick a fucking like a grizzly bear is like what a polar bear is to a grizzly bear, right? It's like a grizzly bear would pick a fucking black bear up and just like toss it into the air, and it would go out of bounds like in Super Smash Brothers and explode. And black bears will attack you given certain circumstances in Pennsylvania, but most of the time they run away from you. It's usually like the mothers have their cubs and they just instinctually go mama bear psycho mode and want to fuck you up or whatever. I've known people who have been in like tree stands for hunting, and then the bears just see them, the cubs like come near, and then the mom just like climbs the fucking tree, pulls the motherfucker out of their tree stand, and then just beats the shit out of them on the ground, bringing them like pretty close to death. But I don't know, man. A grizzly bear, I know you can like pretend to be dead or whatever the fuck, but Jesus Christ. It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool to get eaten. But yeah, black bears are pretty rare in Pennsylvania. I mean, the people hunt them, but at the same time, it's like to come across it randomly is usually kind of like a special moment. Carson shone the flashlight down, and I'd stepped on a goddamn animal trap. It looked like something designed to trap a coyote or a fox, so nothing as lethal or life-ruining as a bear trap, but it still hurt like a bitch mother effer, and I reached down to try and pry it off of my ankle, but Carson instantly stopped me and said that would probably increase the blood loss, and we had a fairly long drive to the nearest medical service, even if we put the pedal to the metal. It also meant that I couldn't be the one to drive my precious SUV, which was hell unto itself. And for some reason, in the haze of all my pain that I felt, I let Sam take the wheel. Carson couldn't drive, and Richie said that he wanted to sit in the back with me because he apparently had some first aid techniques that would help me out. Now, this turned out to be that he had a bunch of Oxy with him, which most definitely wasn't his prescription, and he kept promising me that he wasn't some addict or anything, but at that moment I didn't care. He slipped me a tablet, and slowly the pain from my trap snapped. What comment does Joel see? Joel sees all of the comments, but mainly when I make a mistake and I look over and randomly see one that makes me read it. I go hiking from time to time in Pennsylvania. One time I saw a black bear and said hello there. It looked at me and kept walking. Yeah, it's like they're not always trying to fuck you up, but they certainly have all the qualifications to ruin your day. Bear fat is good for baking. Bear meat can have parasitic worms. Oh, this is true. You gotta be careful with it. What about Yogi the bear? Yogi the bear and most of those he has to kill the picnickers to get their picnic baskets. Read this comment if you're a cat boy. Oh, question. Have any of you guys ever read the Jurassic Park novel by Michael Crichton? Because it sounds like the death scenes from the novel are more along the lines of like a horror movie than Jurassic Park from, the movie in the 90s. Was it 93, 94? Which is so crazy. It's so crazy it still holds up so well after so long. And there just like I don't even know. Would you even say that there's any like modern day Jurassic Park or any, I mean, in the sense that like something that just like is timeless and like holds up? It's actually so sad, like what a failure Hollywood is right now. It's the voice of an internet generation. I read the Jurassic Park novel as a child as a bedtime story. That's awesome. But then they have like parts where like the freaking velociraptors like cut open the dude's stomach and his guts fall out and he's like feeling something like warm and slippery slipping out at his stomach, and then the thing like bites him on the top of the head, and the only thought he can have is, I hope this ends quickly. I don't know. There's just like the animal killing deaths in that movie are just or in that story are just gruesome and terrifying. Do you have any ways to find stories you had to read before without remembering the video it was from? Do you have any ways to find stories you had read before without remembering the video it was from? I mean, for me, I don't know. I guess since I have editors digging through stuff, they just remember if they've came across it before. It's kind of like seeing a person's face. Like, you don't always remember everybody exactly, but you remember kind of what they look like, and they look familiar, you know, after interacting with them even more so. I read The Shining, and the ending of the book is completely different than the movie. It's so much better in the book. Is it? Okay. What happens in the book? Reading is for nerds? That's true. It can be. I'm still slowly making my way through The Exorcist audiobook. It's kind of boring. It's not boring, it's just taking a while to get to anything fucking scary. They merged the two characters. The kid in the book Lost World into one character in the movie. It was a white daughter of Goldblum and her nerdy black friend, and they just made it a black daughter. Oh yeah. And then they made her do a fucking weird gymnastic move to like kick the velociraptor, and I just thought that was like stupid as fuck. Like, the girl had like literally zero role in the movie at all, and then just like randomly was like, I'm a fucking Olympic gymnast and this situation is perfect for this. Like, they could have found any other ways to like make her character do something harrowing, you know what I mean? And then they chose that really fucking jump the velociraptor type moment. What's up, Carol? No worries. He slipped me a tablet, and slowly the pain from my trap-snapped ankle started to ease. I asked him if I could have another, and after some soul-searching, he gave me half. Now meanwhile, Sam was proving to be a pretty competent nighttime desert driver, and Carson was plotting the best route to the nearest walk-in clinic or hospital once we got back to town. Then up ahead, Sam yelled that he saw those guys from before, and maybe they could help us. Except immediately, Carson told him to floor it. The guys who'd clearly seen us coming were scrambling out of their tents into one of the... City boy. City boy. Dude, the unabridged version of Dracula takes forever. It is interesting, like, just writers, right? Like, they just write. That's what they do. They just write words, and they write more words. And I guess sometimes it's cool, because it's like, you're getting all this like sort of side information and like the interior thoughts of the character and all sorts of cool stuff that you would literally never ever get to experience when watching a movie or a TV show. But I don't know, sometimes you're just like, holy fuck, get to the fucking point. In the book, the garden maze comes to life and chases them down and attacks the slowly moving ice pusher. The black guy doesn't die, he saves the wife and Danny. The garden maze comes to life and chases them? What do you mean? Like, it tries to grab them and pull them into, like... Or what is it doing? And attacks the slowly moving ice pusher. I'm confused. Fool Me Once on Netflix is the best plot twist I've seen in years. It's up there with clickbait. I feel like they give useless characters a moment that makes them relevant to the story. The main plot can move on without them. That's true. I guess we're just so used to the speediness of like movies getting to the point in like an hour and a half versus books taking like 12 hours to 24 hours. Has anyone ever had their Instagram account banned or deleted by Instagram? I don't know. It seems like Instagram lets you just post whatever the fuck you want anymore. I don't think they give a shit. It's actually kind of hilarious because like now the comments section of Instagram allows people to like post pictures as comment responses, and it's like if you thought some of the shit on Instagram was like unhinged that people like post, it's like the fucking comments are even more insane because they have like nothing to lose, right? I don't know, it's just really insane, but also very funny. Ha 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 ha. The guys, who'd clearly seen us coming, were scrambling out of their tents into one of the beat-up trucks, and all of them seemed to be packing old-ass, ill-maintained shotguns and rifles. But even a crappy rifle can put a bullet in you. Sam, to his credit, absolutely gunned it like he was set to win the Dakar rally. And I mean, damn, with those skills, I'm convinced that maybe he could have been a rally driver, just not in my SUV. Now, we were pretty big distance from the desert hillbilly camp when the first shot rang out. Now, I have no idea where it went because you would have had to... It breaks off into separate monsters, and the garden maze comes alive and chases them down the hill until they get to the main road. The black butler saves them, wife and kids. I don't even know if I like that ending more or not. Maybe it sounds more exciting in the moment. What's up, Paris? I've been literally waiting for this day. They should have never given me the power. What happened? I've been thrown out of much classier places than Instagram, yeah. I'm kind of glad that all the banning phases of social media is kind of gone now. But at the same time, now all the conspiracy people have filled my head with the idea that at some point, based on the stuff that you've shared, that you've liked, all that kind of stuff, they're going to use AI to like build a profile on whether or not you're like a useful citizen or like a citizen that is in some way like rebellious or whatever, right? And then basically if you sent too many dank memes or if whatever, they'll just send a drone to blow up your skull. Which honestly, bring it on. Do you ever plan on stopping doing commentary? I just about necked myself when Prime Course Husband stopped. Oh, you mean like stopping live streams or stopping videos in general? Oh yeah, social credit score. I mean, I guess they already have like some social credit scores pertaining to like whether you get a fucking loan or whatever. I mean, like companies have those social credit scores with BlackRock on whether or not you get investment dollars and shit. So it's social credit scores definitively do exist within America. Oh, there's two Justins. Justin Springstun, springing into action. I got banned from Facebook when on a 60-day suspension. I was unfortunately in jail for 6 months, and then I got out and checked my Facebook and I was banned. I didn't even post anything. You went to jail? Damn. I'm thinking of ESG. Yeah, dude, is ESG still a thing? Or did they change its name to something else, and is it still like just as having negative an effect? Talk about pressure. Joel, don't stop reading or folks are gonna neck themselves. Yeah, I guess that's a threat that I can make to YouTube. YouTube, you can't ban me. They said my whole audience says they're gonna kill themselves. 1 million people, 1,300,000 people are gonna be dead if you ban me. They all took an oath. Just kidding. If I have to say just kidding after everything, because people are insane, right guys? They're so insane. There's no way of getting my accounts back because their AI flagged me. Damn. You get prison for Facebook posts in the UK. I wish I was joking. How long do they go to prison for? And what the fuck is that? Like is there not a single person pushing back within the legislation to like fight that? Like you literally just get time, like fines and time spent in jail. I don't know how long it is, but is there ever going to be pushback on that legally? You know what I mean? Where you can sue and counter-sue and you know, set up a new precedent within the legal system? Because it seems like something like that can't last that long. Like, people in the UK are too, like, linguistically talented to allow themselves to be pushed around by their government with fucking words because they said naughty words that the government deemed not so good. But I just don't understand. You think that the people of the UK would just be like, well, that's fucking stupid. I'm going to take this to jail or take this to court over and over and over again until we get this fucking figured out. Because, you know, like, having legal repercussions for stupid shit you say on the internet, like, what? That's the fucking point of the goddamn internet, is to be a fucking retard and just say shit and speak your mind and whatever, because it's just going to get worse and worse unless you fight back, you know. What's up, Rocker Red? Good to see you. I had no idea where it went because you'd have to have been an award-winning sniper to hit a moving target at that distance. And then they left off a few more shots, and again, nothing came close to hitting us, thankfully. And finally, they released some volley of shots that seemed to be fired into the air, maybe in anger or intimidation, and I think they knew that they lost us. My heart was pounding. I was sweating. And thanks to Sam and mostly to Carson, we made our way back to our town, and I was able to receive medical treatment. We'd done the right thing by not removing the trap, and I was kind of still high on the oxy, so I was a little paranoid that they'd start asking about that. They didn't, and later Richie told me that nobody would have begrudged me for indulging in a little illegal perk when I had a coyote trap around my foot. Now, while I was in the hospital, accompanied by Richie, Carson, and Sam... Wait, what the fuck? The justice system is corrupt too. They do the bidding of the government. It's just so strange, because, like, I genuinely do wonder, like, what is the government of the UK and Europe and all that kind of stuff? I mean, obviously here too, but it's just like, who do they answer to? Why do they always have such a boner out for, like, hating on their citizens all the time? Why does everywhere you go, it's like you can't... It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why are they just, like, always down to, like, amplify this ever-expanding police state, this ever-expanding fucking free speech stomping culture? And why does, you know what I mean? Like, is anyone going to legally fight back? Can you legally fight back? Like, it just seems so strange. I don't even want to visit the UK anymore, much less spend any modicum of time in the country. I mean, that's kind of, I'm sure there's nice parts of it still, and, you know, obviously stay off of social media when you go there or whatever, but I don't know. Joel's supposed to play with me every third evening, or else his mom takes his cell phone away and he can't get on Reddit. Fuck. If I can't get on Reddit, what the hell? If I can't get on r/pictures of Justin. Because when people don't fight back, the government continues to breach rights. It's just so strange. Like, but because I don't even know how to ask this question. Like, why is there no sensible-minded politician at all there? It just seems like it progressively just gets worse and worse, and there's no... I don't know. Maybe they're all just, I mean, like I've said forever, maybe they're just all bought out and controlled, and there's like an overarching power that desires clamping down on speech, and just it is. Can you eat the government? I mean, I guess you'd have to be really, really hungry to go nuts, you know what I mean? You'd have to stop paying your taxes. I'm not saying not to do that, but I don't know. So log into Overwatch, Joel. I'm telling you, Mama Reed. Log into Overwatch. No, dude, I'd rather fucking die. V for Vendetta was a warning, not instruction manual. I can say the same for 1984 Brave New World, but we are here. Yeah, I guess it's just the reality of, I mean, honestly, the fact that we get to live in this time when it's, like, peaceful is kind of nice. But I guess it won't be peaceful very, very long, right? You know, whenever things continue to expand outward. I don't know. It's got to be so weird to be those police... Like, it's got to be so fucking weird to be the police officers that show up to someone's door like, oh, excuse me, sir. I heard that you said some very distressing things on the internet. Some very distressing things indeed. well, how do you think that makes people feel when you say those types of things? I was like, well, mate, it's what I was thinking at the time, and I don't give a fuck. It's what you fuck was saying. You know, I'm not saying this happens all the fucking time, but it's the fact that it happens at all in like a pretty civilized country. You just imagine like one of them would dissent from the process. Like some of the, like you think they would just be embarrassed because the cops have to see those people in like cafes, and they have to see them around town at church. And, you know, I don't know. To me, it just seems like, how can you as a police officer, like, feel like you're enforcing something that, unless they're just like so wildly brainwashed, I don't even know. The bobbies. The British police get off on power trips like they love it. Every one of them, though? Every single one of them? Like, you think there would be some movement internally or something like that. I mean, I guess British people as a whole do kind of get a little bit of their jimmies jombling whenever they get to, like, tell someone the rules. Like, British people love fucking rules, and they love to tell you about, like, the social implications of you possibly breaking a rule that they made up in their head, or a hypothetical, like, negative outcome that they have to, like, squash early before it gets out of hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like a kind of logical fallacy appealing to, like, something that could potentially, they have to be bad to prevent badness, you know what I mean? It's just like fucking dumb as shit. Excuse me, but you're being apprehended under the suspicion of possibly committing a crime involving murder. Did you hear about the British guy who posted pictures of him shooting guns in Florida and got arrested in the UK? You know, on his way back or something? I don't even fucking know, man. It's just very, very strange world we live in. And I really do hope that people legally start fighting back. I mean, where are the legal representation? Like, there's got to be so many lawsuits that you should be making, like, you should just be, like, rolling in it as a lawyer in the UK, unless I just don't understand how it works. I obviously don't, but my girlfriend's cousin understands me, so thankfully, since I know I'm usually hard to understand due to me being deaf. Okay. While I was in the hospital, accompanied by Richie, Carson, and Sam. Oh, by Richie, okay. So. While I was in the hospital, accompanied by Richie, Carson and Sam went to the local police station, who knew us from some of our infamous high school antics, but kind of liked us all the same, and they explained the situation, and the cops told them that they thought that they knew who these boys were. A group of brothers, a cousin, and a friend from a nearby trailer park who all had warrants out for their arrests. Now, nothing serious, but they did have a history of putting traps around their trailer park and befriending tourists only to rob them. Now, this would be the first time that they targeted locals, though. The cops told Carson and Sam that we might all be called in for trial and further statements, and I had to give a statement from my hospital bed where I spent 5 excruciatingly boring days. Now, thankfully, we never had to go to court because I guess whatever went down when the cops confronted them far exceeded whatever happened with us. And my guess is something escalated, prison time, and there was a story in the local paper about something similar, but for some reason there were no details of the assailants or any identifying information. Now, we all still live in that Arizona town. We've all made our lives and careers here, and anyone who says that you can't make it if you stay in your hometown is lying. We all do well for ourselves, and we're all still friends to this day. Like I said, Carson's never had to pay for another drink with us again, and Sam gets a few freebies too, because there's always that nagging feeling that maybe he was the one who suggested it in the first place, so he doesn't push back when it's his round. Either way, that was our one and only attempt at dipping our toes into what you might call Urbex. Well, Desert X, I guess. Gaming arcades, bowling, and snowboarding for us going forward, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Carol Williamson with the 5 says, being a member of the Buttersock cult in these streams make me feel young again. Thanks for having me, guys. You're welcome, Carol. You are young. You're going to live forever. And so will we. In fact, I think some of us can fly. Alright. So we're cruising. Buffering. Anybody else buffering? You're being trumped up on charges of murder. Sorry you missed the last couple lives, but got busy finally able to join again. No worries, good to see you. UK has no free speech, no constitution. They have no rights like we do in the States. Mass immigration is done on purpose. There is no accident. Yeah, I don't know, man. DK. I don't know. But assumedly, within the confines of like the legal system, if there is something in which you feel deserves to be within the realm of speech, then, or whatever infringement upon said rights, I imagine the only way to go about it is to get involved in the legal system, or to formulate some degree of strong case, you know. I'm just drinking water. I need more water here, probably. Your gram lived to be 100 and or your mom lived to be 100, gram 98. Might live forever. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Were they in good spirits upon their latter days? B-dubs, welcome to the Buttersaw Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you. Hey, Joel. Good to finally write in and meet you, I guess. I'd completely forgotten that I had this story until my girlfriend teased me about it, and I said, well, damn, I'm sending it in to my favorite YouTuber. So this isn't an irrelevant aside, and you'll see the... sorry, I skipped the first fucking paragraph, because people send that shit in, and I just feel like it's just to, like, fucking take up space. Don't feel bad about being in second place, though. My favorite YouTuber is the e-girl goth chick who tries on bikinis on YouTube in the guise of fashion. As I love your stories, they can't compete with that. And yes, my girlfriend knows I watch it and then watches her with me. Why the fuck? That's so fucking pointless. Sorry. Guys, if you send me stories in, please don't send the first minute of the story about nothing. So this isn't an irrelevant aside. You'll see the connection, but initially the connection is got... I'm just deleting this. I don't even fucking give a shit. Yo, Joel. Good to finally write in and meet you, kinda. So basically, when I was growing up and in my first year of college, I got dared by my buddies to spend the night in the local haunted cemetery. Ooh, spooky. The town I grew up in had a great college, and so I got in there and was able to live at home, too. It was a bonus. Now, growing up, we always had known that the cemetery was attached to St. Augustine of Christ. Hey, Beth, what's up? Misty, are you back? Your internet okay? Anybody going to be the Brimfield Flea Market this weekend? Largest one in the U.S. Brimfield, where's that? If it wouldn't be too inconvenient, might we blow this whistle to startle you? You gonna blow my whistle? Blow my whistle right round, right round. My room was dark and my son was just standing by the bed. He was blocking the Wi-Fi. Okay. Growing up, we'd always known that the cemetery attached to St. Augustine of Christ. Augustines of Christ. What the fuck is this? I wish I had a crispy Dr. Pep right now. That sounds so good. Growing up, we'd always known that the cemetery attached to St. Augustine's of Christ was haunted. It just had this aura at night, you know? Obviously, all cemeteries are spooky at night, but this one was different. We tried partying there when we were maybe 15 and my brother bought us alcohol. Now, out of 7 of us, boys and girls, not one of us got even a buzz out of the beers. And it was like there was this pressure in the air that kind of... I don't really know how to describe it. Have you ever been to a place that just feels bad? You can't explain it, it just does. It has a sort of aura of darkness. Now, I guess I should explain a little about St. Augustine's of Christ, the cemetery, and where exactly it is. It wasn't in our town. It was in a nearby ghost town that had been abandoned in the mid-1800s when the population grew so small thanks to a contaminated well that the remaining townsfolk moved to a bigger town with better job prospects, better community, and obviously better water. And I think after the sickness died off, there were around 5 families left in the town and 2 young widows. You can't blame them for not staying. And now one of the widows worked in the government in some kind of high-up position, and through whatever... Right round, you go round, you go round, round. She spins my wiener around, around. And you go down. Chicanery, the use of trickery to achieve political, financial, or legal purpose. I used a lot of chicanery to become the top YouTuber. The top 1,000 YouTubers. Joel, finally met someone, sure, the long-ass 5 years. You met someone, that's good. After 5 years of being, what, single? Or in jail? Oh, man. My editor quit suddenly and I had a story ready, so now I have to start over. Your editor quit? What do you mean? Oh, you have a story. What kind of story is it? You can't blame them for not staying. Now one of the widows worked in the government in some kind of high-up position, and through whatever chicanery, apparently involving the Pinkertons, she managed to... Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you know that I'm the most YouTuber ever? I did hear about that. It's kind of crazy to win that award. The most YouTube guy. You can't blame them for not staying. And now one of the widows worked in the government in some kind of high-up position, and through whatever chicanery, apparently involving the Pinkertons, she managed to set up a deal via her government contacts where the land was sold to a company who were now planning to develop on it. Now, we never did find out what they were planning to develop because the owner disappeared shortly after with the contents of the entire bank account of said institution and probably spent like the last years living it up on a beach somewhere. And so that business folded, but technically they weren't bankrupt or liquidated. I don't know, I'm not some business major, I don't understand all that shiz, but the point is, this town ended up being owned by essentially nobody. Nobody could move in, nobody could develop there, and nobody could do anything except allow it to just fall into ruin. It was maybe a 90-minute drive from our town, but there was really no reason to visit. It was just a bunch of sad, boarded-up houses that reminded us of everything we lost in the early years of medicinal treatment and how everything dies eventually. It's a nice feeling. Now, of course, it would have been a fantastic place for the local kids to go out and party, but none of us want to. And this went back generations, and is still the case to this day as far as I know. The town itself was a little unsafe because there were potential predators in the area. The animal kind, I guess maybe the human kind too. And the cemetery was safer because you could lock up the gates still and have yourself a kegger, but as I said, the one time we tried, it never felt right. The cemetery was kind of on a small hill with the abandoned church at the peak, and none of us even entertained the idea of breaking in or vandalizing the cemetery or the town. And it was like, F it. I sound like a moron for saying this, but... What is this? Oh god, what am I reading? My eyeballs are burning. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. Alright, who the hell said I had a vagina? Guys, guess what I got? Watermelon. Was it vagina? It's like a new thing. You can do it at home. Anybody ever dealt with extended family that only got one story about you from one side? Yeah. A part of me almost like doesn't want to hang out with family because you know, you're almost like afraid that, I don't know, you know how like family are just so gossipy and shit like that? And then the second they hear that you're gossipy or someone's gossipy, they just like immediately you're just down like shit creek, and I don't know, things just, I don't know, like escalate from that point. I don't know how to explain it. Just anytime I've ever had like family issues, it's like so hard to mend them for some stupid fucking reason. Hey Joel, reminder that my colonoscopy is on the 20th. I got that in my calendar at home. But I was gonna ask you, I thought about that. I was like, do you ever do sitz baths? Like, do you do warm baths? You know what I mean? Where you just, because apparently that helps with like blood flow to that area. Like, and does like 90% of like the healing or something like that. I don't know about internally. I know you said you had like internal issues, but a tummy ache survivor. I just cut contact with my family, boom, problem solved. Too extreme, tough for your situation. No, it's okay. Someone donated $1. Oh, Jorge, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, thank you. I'm eating a big fucking thing of watermelon. It's only for external hemis. Internally, it doesn't get as much, supposedly. Oh, damn. So what do you do? Like, they just go in there, they have to do surgery on you or some shit? Potato salad. Yeah, this watermelon, not very bright, but honestly, since that person said it's the least amount of calories, that's what I've been eating. I haven't eaten a watermelon yet this summer, and my South African side of me is pissed. You're Elon Musk. You're from South Africa. Pradeep is standing guard. Alright, I'm only going to eat one more spline. One more spline of watermelon. And then we'll get locked in. Your dad is from Cape Town? That's cool. Is it cool there? That's where, well, I don't want to dox him, but I know somebody that lives there. Alright, Pradeep, you got your watermelon. Pradeep is going to guard the watermelon, and then... yeah, I was just unhinging my jaw to eat the whole fucking thing. Do you ever see those like old cartoons where they eat it and they're like, and then they like spit out the seeds? They eat it like a typewriter and then. I demolished a 15-pound watermelon in 2 days with some fried chicken, tenders, pears. Well, honestly, salty and sweet is like perfect. It is a delicious combination of summer goodness. Hantavirus is gone now. All goons crap ourselves. I know, they just like always gotta have like some stupid fucking thing in the news to bitch about. There's another virus that's gonna give you fucking blood out your asshole. Whatever. Honestly, I need some diarrhea. Sometimes diarrhea is good for you, don't you guys think? Just clears out the system a little bit, wakes you up, keeps you honest. It was like, F it. I sound like a moron for saying this, but it was like it was under some kind of protection. And I do not mean from God. It felt cursed. And so obviously when I was new to college and the girl I had a major... What the hell's that? Is that the girl? The girl I got a crush on burps a lot. Epsom salt on the watermelon? Maybe. Honestly, I'm just imagining like taking a bath and you just have like various triangular cuts of watermelon floating in the bathtub with you. I shouldn't laugh at this, but I saw an Instagram post where the guy was saying, he was pretty young too, like in his 20s, and he was just saying that like, it was like a confessional video, but it was like a confessional video in which, like when people start crying on camera and then post it, it's like something about that just makes me question the authenticity of it, but the guy basically was just saying that he struggled with shitting himself for the majority of his entire life because of some type of, you know, Crohn's disease or IBS, which is terrible. I have a friend with Crohn's disease and it's been a huge pain in his ass for a long time, literally. But I don't know. I feel like after having gone through shitting your pants so much, it would be a very lame experience, but it wouldn't be worth crying on camera, I guess. I don't know. But I did hear that the BPC 157 peptide is supposed to be very useful for like healing your gut lining. So I was kind of curious if maybe like that would be beneficial for Crohn's disease or not. I don't know. Zachary Salmon, thank you, bro. Love you too. You have IBS and GERD. My body hates me, man. Wonder what it is. Wonder if it's like something you could like fix. I wonder if it's something you could fix, you know, because IBS and GERD is kind of just like open-ended, right, as far as a symptom, but I just like wonder what the underlying symptom is and how we could determine it. If it's like a gut biome thing or something of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, when I was new to college and the girl I had a major crush on dared me to spend the night in St. Augustine of Christ Cemetery, I agreed. And she also hinted that she'd be very impressed with me if I did it like I was some kind of hero or something, and that was really enough for me. I mean, it had to be 3 years since the ill-fated kegger among the tombstones. Joel, do you like a girl that can lift you? Not really, no. I'd prefer to have captured my girlfriend with like a net. I'm also hypermobile, so probably all goes together. Hypermobile? What does hypermobile mean? Like hyperflexible or something? If you swallow seeds, it will grow in your stomach. I used to believe that. Yeah, me too. I watched like one episode of Rugrats and I was like, oh my fucking god, there's a whole garden inside my belly right now. I mean, it had been 3 years since the ill-fated kegger among the tombstones. I'm sure I'd hyped it up in my mind so it felt worse than it was. I could do this. I could drive there, camp there overnight, maybe grab a couple of sleeping pills from my dealers so I didn't even have to worry about staying up, and then I'd use this disposable camera that I'd brought to prove that I'd stayed there by taking photos of my watch, the sunset, the nighttime, and various bits of proof. I did suggest that someone accompany me, ideally the girl who dared me, to prove that I was on the level, but nobody wanted to do it. And So I sucked it up, and during my little spring break, I drove to the ghost town. I tried not to look at the houses slowly rotting away as I walked to the gates of the cemetery. Now thankfully they were still able to be opened and able to be sealed shut by a metal sliding lock, so no predators would be getting in. Apparently there had been mountain lion sightings about 100 miles away or so, and while that sounded like nothing, I didn't want to risk anything. Plus coyotes have been seen in the area, and okay, I didn't want anyone coming into the cemetery without me being alerted. And that's when I realized the problem with the sleeping pill idea. I brought a couple of super strength Ambien from my dealer, and as someone who'd never taken Ambien before, I was pretty sure that was just one that would knock me out for the whole night, even if a serial killer broke in and ripped me to shreds. And so I left them at home, hidden in the secret compartment of my drawer that I found out years later Mom had always known about. Oh my god, I can't follow all these little side notes, bro. Hypermobility is different than being flexible. Cool. Oh man. Watermelon really takes it out of you. Also, we're slowly climbing back up to normal numbers. We're at 430 right now. It always sucks, like as soon as, I don't understand, like as you get to your peak in streaming, it's like that's when, it's like at the latest point of your live stream, you know what I mean? I just don't really understand how YouTube's live streaming works. So I left them at home, hidden in the secret compartment of my drawer that I found out years later Mom had always known about. And so I had around 14 hours to kill. The sun hadn't even set yet and I was getting bored. And I tried to do some reading for school, and that got boring. And then I tried to read a few comics, and even they couldn't keep my attention. I just had this creeping dread around my heart all the time. I snapped awake. I had somehow drifted off to sleep outside the tent on the hard dirt floor, and by now the sun had already set. There was a light breeze coming from the east, and these voices were carried on the breeze. It seemed like there were two female voices, and they were speaking in what I can only describe as like 1800s vernacular. Vague hints about witchcraft and sacrifice and burning people alive. And of course, this made me feel extremely safe, and I was glad that I had my Bowie knife with me at the very least. And then from the other side of the town, more distant sounding... The fuck are they talking about? From the other side of the town, more distant sounding than the witchcraft talk, but fighting against the wind. I could hear the sound with like... Maybe most of your viewers are European and Aussie. Oh, that's true. I guess everybody kind of gets ready for bedtime. Bedtime. It's freaking bedtime. Joel, good work, brother. Thank you. Seeing red, what's happening? Oh, man. I'm not tired. You're tired. Do you rehearse these stories beforehand or just skim read them and wing it? Yeah, everything's just kind of like cold red in the moment. Otherwise, it would just take me too dang long. You know what I'm saying? Then from the other side of the town, more distant sounding than the witchcraft talk, but fighting against the wind, I could hear what sounded like a fire and brimstone preacher. It was the most surreal experience. A preacher with a deep, booming voice quoting Bible passages in the far distance on one side of me, and then two admittedly seductive-sounding women talking like witches on the other. I decided that since I was in some churchyard, the preacher would already be here if this was his stomping grounds, and the witches wouldn't come close. Or it was my friends just trying to freak me out. Now that was the most obvious, most likely, and almost certainly the true answer. I tucked into my tent and hid. Nothing happened for about an hour or so, and then I heard the rusty creaking of the cemetery gate being opened. I didn't think. I literally just noped out of the tent, swinging my knife around, hoping that I could out-crazy whoever was out there. Now I was met by 2 girls wearing goth makeup around my age who screamed the place down when they saw me. They turned to run when I desperately... Holy shit, big-tittied goth latinxes falling right into my clutches. You doing your nighttime skincare? Taking off the skin suit. Oh, I always get bummed by Evil Dead Burn. Oh, I didn't. Is that out? Bummed by like it not being good. I just recovered from ACL surgery and I'm happy I can kick ass and take names again. That's good, yeah. That sounds like not fun to tear. Literally fumbling 2 goth baddies right now. Let's hope not. They turned to run when I desperately began calling out that I thought that they were witches and that I dared to spend the night there, etc., etc. Now one of them turned around and asked if my name was X. Now I'm not going to dox myself here, I'm just using that as a placeholder, and I said that yeah, it was, and that's when I recognized the girls. They actually went to my college, they were freshmen too, and they just didn't normally dress like that. They were kind of normal-looking art students, so I hadn't recognized them in the moment. Now, I won't bore you with a lengthy explanation on how we smoothed everything out, but it turns out that they'd come to this ghost town to do a bit of a photo shoot for their final project You know what was so funny? I went over to my parents' house, and they have like this black lab, you know, and fucking don't train her at all or teach her any sort of manners or rules, so she's always just going fucking nuts when she sees me. But I kind of like speak to her in this like sort of like, be calm down, and she actually does. She like listens to what I say, which is cool, and she like sits, and but you can see her, she's just like inside, like just like shaking, like wanting to fucking lick my face so badly. Not gonna happen. But I don't know why, it was just really funny. Like when she saw me, she just like started pissing. Like, oh my god, dude. Just like so fucking excited you piss your pants. No, I won't bore you with a lengthy explanation on how we smoothed everything out, but it turns out that they'd come to this ghost town to do a photo shoot for their final project, which was, quote, shameful history. And they told me that the story about the town wasn't quite what we'd heard. And the initial days of the well turning bad. Labs are so smart. She is really smart, and it like upsets me that she doesn't get like proper training, because if she were to like, I don't know, I'm just thinking if I could spend some time with her and actually like teach her some shit, she actually might be a pretty well-behaved dog. Otherwise she's just like fucking psycho about so much random shit. I'm kicking to the X of the curb. I try to give him a stable place to live, but Mr. Negativity just can't stop. Yeah, man, sometimes it's just better to be by yourself. No worries. If you don't love me enough to piss when you see me, I don't want it. It's true. Dogs are the true ride or dies. Meaning if they can't ride in your car, they're gonna die at home. That's what they tell me. The fucking bobbies. Call the bobbies to see the boobies. In the initial days of the well turning bad, 2 women had been punished for witchcraft by throwing them down the already deceased well, with claims that they'd cursed the town with some sickness. I'm sure that the 2 corpses down there really helped, right? Now, this is what they were photographing, posing as the 2 women and creating some superimposed imagery showing them looking up from the well, trapped down there. And it all sounded really cool and really interesting, and thankfully not cursed. Now, I jokingly asked if they wanted to camp with me to help me win the bet, and I genuinely think that they might have said yes if it wasn't for the bad vibes in the place. Now, there was a moment when they hesitated and I thought that I'd hit a home run, But then they said they had to get back and invited me to at least walk them to their car, which was parked around the side of the town. Now I abandoned... Oh my god. Joe, I found that if you do what Caesar Mullen said works, like when they are excited, ignore the dogs and have them be calm, then calmingly give them attention. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, as soon as you enter the house and make a big fuss of it, they go nuts. You kind of just have to not entertain the negative behavior. The power of autism compels you. Hate being around dogs that bark at everything, tree, leaves, cars, I know, man, shit's annoying as fuck. And their dog does bark a lot. I began to accompany them when we heard the booming footsteps. And then that booming voice rang out, and he sounded very close, like he was just around the corner behind us. Now, I can't 100% remember exactly which Bible passages he was quoting, but I'd included a few that I'm certain I heard him growl after us. A man or a woman who is a medium or spiritist among you must be put to death. You are to stone them. Their blood will be on their own heads. And then a pause as we started to walk quicker, not wanting to run in case it caused the man, who so far was just stomping along, to speed up. Next he said, "Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." Now we started to jog now, and I glanced backwards. This huge man in a long, dusty leather coat was slowly striding towards us. He was barely a silhouette in the darkness, but I could see the white glow of some sort of collar at his throat. Now when he saw me looking at him, he boomed this: "Submit yourself then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." And finally, as we all broke into a run, the preacher did not seem to speed up at all, and yet he was still getting closer. Now, I remember this quote for definite because it was the last thing he said to us, and it bounced around in my head over the years. "But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the adulterers and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death." We reached the girls' car. One of them got behind the wheel and the other dived into the back seat with me, and we just hightailed it out of there. And if the preacher was shouting anything else, I couldn't hear it. But I did look back through the rear window and saw him holding up some old-school crucifix in one hand, or at least shining, sort of, and a Bible in the other, I think. And as we were nearly home, the girls asked if I'd like to come back to their shared apartment to chill out and debrief and maybe even smoke something to calm us down. I said that no, if it was okay, I'd rather just be given a ride home because I was so freaked out that I really wouldn't make for good company in this moment. Now, it was only later that I realized that I just rejected two hot goth chicks inviting me back to their apartment, but I was always absolutely useless with women, and this was the part my now girlfriend was teasing me about. Now, these days, I am kind of a religious man. I don't camp overnight in cemeteries, and I kind of feel like the preacher was giving me a bit of a warning. I don't know what that warning was, but I know that if he'd caught up with any of us, it would not have been good. I left that town and that state now, but occasionally a buddy tells me a rumor about the ghost town. A crucified body found in the churchyard, but of course I could never find anything about it, like he said, and a group of teens who were scared off by a guy who looked like the Undertaker. Now that one I can believe. I don't know what I encountered that day, but I do know that I go to church every Sunday and pray to God every night, and I think I genuinely believe, and it's not just fear. So whatever that preacher did or might have done, I think he set my life on the track that I'm happy with, so you might have been... So, buddy, you might have been out to kill me, but you didn't, and for that, all is forgiven. Okay, holy shnikes. We got One more story, which means I get to eat one little bit more of watermelon. Yippee! Yippee, Pradeep. Thank you for guarding this, protecting it from any evildoers who may be out to eat my delicious sweet treat. With very minimal calories and primarily made of fiber. Dude, it'd be so funny to see like a really hot goth chick who does, or like one of those Asian girls who do like the mukbangs or something, whenever she like finally goes to eat. And she's like, oh my god. But then when she goes to eat, she just like eats like a fucking ravenous pig, like Is Cujo the aggressive dog? Yeah, it's a Stephen King book or story where a kid's stuck in a car and there's a terrifying, I think is it demon possessed? A demon possessed Saint Bernard or some shit. That was very millennial of me. Fuck you. Just kidding. I don't know, man. The whole millennial thing, guys, you guys gotta get off of millennials' dicks. You know what I mean? Millennials cringed so you guys could cronge. You can't expect everyone to be Miss Rachel or whatever the fuck you guys watch. It's rabies and it's the kid and his mom. Oh, right. Yeah, I bought my friend a Saint Bernard puppy. His name's Herbie. And he's so sweet. He's a big baby. What's my favorite smell? That's a good question. Favorite smell? I have to come back to that. Do you guys have a favorite smell? Apples are also low in calories. You sound like a dinosaur. Apple. We must be really delayed because you guys are super far behind. I think apples are pretty high in sugar compared to, I think it's basically watermelon, then mixed berries, and then mango. As far as like the lowest calorie, high fiber, sweet treats, natural fruits. There's a profile called Phantom Tales, re-uploading all your content. Yeah, it's so strange. There's like, I've been told there's like 3 separate channels over the course of the past week that just are re-uploading my shit, and I don't really understand why so many pages. Like, that just seems like a lot, you know? Okay. The smell of sunshine. And people come in from outdoors on a very sunny day. Does that mean their like skin was boiling? Can I report them to YouTube? I don't really know. I generally don't know how to like go through that, and I don't really think I necessarily like can copyright claim their stuff that then would be monetized directly to me, because their channels themselves wouldn't really necessarily be monetized. And if they do apply for the monetization, like, you would assume YouTube would look into whether or not someone's channel or content already exists elsewhere before giving them proper monetization. Okay. This event played out in 2001, a few months before everything changed. I lived in Cali and I'd recently gotten heavily into analog photography, and digital was almost unheard of back then and certainly not very good at the time. I've been taking photos of things all around the California... Sorry, Jesus Christ. It's like all these stories take place out west. Put some tahini on the watermelon. I do actually have some tahini, but not tonight, sadly. Yeah, it's just Justin re-uploading everything. Re-upload my consciousness. Oh, the ocean is a great smell. Not love tide, though. That's true. Honestly, I forgot about the ocean smells. It's funny when you think of a smell, it kind of comes back to you, like, ever so slightly. I've been taking photos of things all around the California desert, really focusing on outdoor sunset shots and things like that. Then I heard about this old ghost town around 5 hours away. If I took a thermos of coffee and started early, I could make it there and back with plenty of time to spend photographing the old ruins. And I saw some photos in a book in the library, and there didn't seem to be any real modern pictures of the place. It had likely rotten to almost nothing now, but that in and of itself was interesting to me. And so I headed out one chilly morning on a day that promised to be hot with a little bit of a breeze, which is a rare treat around here. Now, I don't think I saw a single other vehicle on the drive to the ghost town. Maybe I did and I wasn't paying attention, but I'm usually a pretty attentive person to things like that. Now, I started to revel in the loneliness. Maybe it was silly for me, at a then 23-year-old woman, to enjoy isolation and being in the middle of nowhere, but hey, my survival instincts had never been very good. Now, eventually, I see a pole or two in the distance that signaled the ghost town. I drove off-road and across the sand for as far as I was comfortable with in my old car, and then trekked the rest of the way. And the moment I reached the town, I could tell that something just felt wrong. It wasn't just the feeling of wrongness, although that was certainly there, an unpleasant vibe that made me want to just turn tail and run before I'd even begun. But it was what lay around the ruins and foundations of this town that really unsettled me. Now, I'd learned that the town had been abandoned after the gold rush, when there was no more work to be had and the nearby ore had been tapped, and there was just... I've never seen the ocean. I wonder how it smells. You never seen the ocean? You gotta go see the ocean at some point. Any ocean, honestly. If you've never seen the ocean, I feel like you gotta make that like a life mission to at least... It's not like it might be like Larry David, where you're like, yeah. What's so great about it? Not that great. It's okay. Only the greatest beach in the entire of Hawaii, Larry. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's, not that exciting. Oh. Clove cigarettes. Oh, yeah. Sometimes, like, the initial light up of, like, a match. You ever, like, light a match? That smells pretty good. Or, like, my mom and my brothers always smoke cigarettes. I never smoke cigarettes, but I mean, I've had a cigarette, but I've never like been an actively addicted person to smoking cigarettes or like ever owned a pack or anything like that. But that like first light up of like the paper that cigarettes are rolled in, there's something about that actually smells kind of good. You know what I mean? Just that first light up. And then after that, it's fucking gross. The bed in the morning, the smell of sheets, the air in the pillow, still carrying the fragrance of her shampoo. Her shampoo, 100% my favorite smells. Who is this mysterious her? She's the girl in the movies that's like kind of like, you know what I'm talking about? And like when they do like the flashback to the wife that passed away and she's like Stay away, stay away. Like running backwards. Oops. Sorry, Pradeep. Oh my God, he's like underneath me right now and he got smushed. Jesus Christ. Cats are just like, you know where I should lay? Right at your fucking feet. Like a little trap. You like the smell? It's like pheromones. Oh, the cigarette, yeah. If you were a furry, which one would you be? It'd be a giant snail that drags my slime through the convention center. You just did like 50 push-ups. Let's go. How many push-ups should I do at the end of the stream, guys? Do you think I can do them? Do you think I can do any of them? I'd learned that the town had been abandoned after the gold rush when there were no more work to be had and the nearby areas had been tapped, so they just sort of upped and let it die. And that sense of death had clearly remained because scattered around the town were numerous coyote corpses, all in various stages of decay. Now I could only tell that they were coyotes because the corpse nearest me was, well, fresh. A macabre part of me thought about taking a photograph, but it felt a bit too morbid. I was about to just up and get out of there when something in the center of the main street caught my eye. Someone was lying on the floor, face up, and I had no choice but to approach, and my eyes were darting around in case this was some kind of trap. No, it most definitely wasn't. The guy laying on the desert ground was dead as dead could be. His skin was shriveled to a paper-thin coating, and bones poked through in places where the epidermis had given up the ghost. He had no eyeballs, of course, and empty abyssal sockets gazed up to him. "42? Honestly, 42 is a good number. If I can do 42 in a row... Here, wait, give me like a push-up challenge that you think is reasonable based on your knowledge of my previous push-ups. But I will also say I bought one of those slingshot... You guys ever see those slingshot things that help protect your shoulder on push-ups and bench? I bought the one that's like for push-ups specifically. So it's going to help me by quite a bit, but it's mainly just to help protect the shoulder from... You can just kind of like keep going so your arms don't flare out. 100 push-ups. I mean, but there's got to be like a punishment. Like if I don't do X amount, let's say like if I don't do X amount under 50, if I, let's think. Okay, 46, yeah. If I don't do 46 in a row, I owe you guys 50 gifted subs. What do you think? He had no eyeballs, of course, and empty abyssal sockets just gazed up at me. The weirdest thing was he dressed in the garb of someone from at least 20 years ago, and this didn't look like some homeless person had just dropped dead here yesterday. It looked like this man had been dead for a couple of decades, and yet he lay almost on top of the sand, barely covered, as if he'd been exhumed for some purpose. Now, I studied a forensic pathology module at college just before dropping out, so I had a little insight into what I was looking at, and I couldn't see any obvious wounds or causes of death. It was almost like he just laid down and died. And instead of the sand covering up his body over in the... And instead of the sand covering his body over the subsequent 20 years, just like the coyotes, he was somehow left visible. I headed off quickly and drove straight home, where I called the cops, and they promised to call me back, and a few days later they did. They said that their pathologist agreed with me that he just laid down and died. There was no sign of some heart attack or anything like that. It was almost like his body had just sort of stopped. Now, this can happen sometimes when someone gets really old or really sick, and when I asked if this guy had been sick, I was told that the pathologist hadn't been able to comment on that, as she hadn't found any evidence of anything directly fatal. No hits to the head, no broken bones of any sort. It was all just very strange. I asked about the coyotes, and they said that this was the jurisdiction of the wildlife department, who hadn't told them anything, so that was just another mystery that I never got solved. I kind of wish that no matter how grim it would have been, I had taken photographs of everything after, but it just felt so disrespectful. I really do think that someone just dug that body up and moved it from some graveyard far away. Now, around a decade later, I was driving down the same road for a much lengthier, days-long road trip, and I saw the location where the town had been and the way the wood had rotted even further. I thought about stopping and going over to take another look, but something stopped me. A kind of darkness that gripped my heart, a voice in my head that said no. And I've long since learned that when my instincts tell me not to do something, I should listen. So as far as I know, that town's still out there, and who knows what might find you if you went there today. I know that I, for one, do not want to find out. Okay. Well, guys, we'll have to read the outro. If you don't do 46 in a row, you have to go to McDonald's and buy the fattest person's meal who's in line. Actually, that does sound like a good little challenge. I saw... What did I see? I saw some, like, fantasy football punishment or something that looked... It was like new fantasy football punishment unlocked or something, and it was like some sort of, like, weird political activist sign that you have to, like, go hold up or whatever. It just looked really funny. I don't quite remember what it was, but I'm laughing at the memory of it being funny, I guess. Alright. We're going to read this outro and then we'll do some push-ups. We're going to do some boomba-clots. Always trust your intestines. Guys, can you think of something hilarious for me to say? You should be able to do the same amount of push-ups as years you are old, Joel. Okay, that's true. I'll have to do 250,000. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you get a story, be sure to submit them over at my email at letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and you might even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul. All links are in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And what the fuck should I say next? The way sunshine smells could be described as how laundry dried on clothesline smells. Fresh sun-dried linen is the best scent. That does sound lovely. Google is your friend. Our farm is lousy with coyotes. 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 I've got Tourette's. Okay, and remember me bumbo. Me bumbo. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, me bumbo. What does that even mean, Fry? What the hell does that mean? Guys, we're not done yet. If you want to stick around and receive some gifted memberships. Okay, wait. We'll do this. If I can't do 46 push-ups in a row, I'll gift 100 memberships. If I can't do 92 push-ups in a row, I'll give 50. So if I can get past the 46, I'll just gift 50. But if I can get past the 92, then I don't have to gift any at all. So that still gives you guys a good chance. How do you like those odds? Okay. Get fucking ready, guys. Count it out. Even though nobody's watching, I'll count it out. Thank Hopefully I ate all this watermelon. I have to give away my Pokemon cards? Are you fucking nuts? Are you guys? Okay. Okay. So this is the thing I'm wearing across my chest right now. It's called a slingshot. And it's the weakest version of it, which is just made specifically for push-ups rather than bench press, but it's to protect your shoulder and your labrum. And I will now attempt to do over 46 in the fucking row. Let's go, baby. Oh, my fucking knees! Just kidding. God, this floor is so dirty. So dirty. Okay. Can you guys hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh. Fuck. Okay. That was good. Honestly, that was good. It was good before bed. It went pretty quick. I'll be honest, that slingshot, not advertising by the way, but it is really cool. Yeah, like, I feel like with upper body, you just hit that wall and you're like, okay, I guess we're done. How fat is the cat? Pradeep's in a good... The vet always says Pradeep has good healthy weight because I basically control his diet. Oh, okay. I have to go find myself. I wasn't too loud, was I? From a distance. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I briefly heard myself and it's loud as shit. Okay, where's the fucking thing? Memberships? No. Gifting memberships? Okay, so I made it past. So we'll do 50. Oh, I guess that's the only option anyways. Whatever. Your only option. Oh my god. Okay. There you go, friends. Love and appreciate you. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will go ahead and get this up and over, edited tomorrow over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there for early access. And then I'll get it on YouTube. Same time, same place. Mondays and Thursdays, which tomorrow is Monday. 9 p.m. EST. Enjoy your gift to the bonus content. Should be recording bonus content again soon. There's also the over on Patreon, the bonus content tier has a little movie review podcast I do with my friends every other week. It's fun. Oh my god, Misty didn't get one. Damn. Unlucky. But good night, you all. Thank you so much. Follow my Instagram at letsread.official to be kept up to date when I go live. Hit the gym, friends. You'll feel happier and better. Okay. Bye-bye. See you soon.